series are owned by Square Enix. The Pathfinder D20 game system is owned by Paizo, and the FF-D20 system is a fan-made system designed by Alan Willig. This is completely not for profit. We're just here to have fun.
Where we left off last time, the party had successfully thwarted an assassination attempt on the newly married couple from Lowland and East Haven. By what they discovered in investigation afterwards was a strange sort of ultranational weird special forces thing from East Haven from a long time ago. Kind of a Nazi thing. Kind of.
And we're banned off Twitch.
And back.
Well,
no, we killed the Nazis. We're fine.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah. But then there's this whole thing of their sympathetic cause, and but no, the party handled all that. One of them fleeing from the conflict, much to Chef's disappointment. He was then chased in a high-speed chocobo chase down the main road of Lullen. A frankly recklessly high-speed chocobo haste of chocobos at their full run with haste, which is approximately car speeds on a bird. Like,
there was math involved as this was worked out.
But yeah, they went barreling down the street. They finally caught up with the guy and the little time mage that saved him. Subsequently tech lasered into Ash, the poor time mage of fairly low hit points. The man dodging it just on the edge of it because of rogue powers.
Flopping like a fish.
Flopping like a fish with one arm and one leg, like. Jesus
and
Christ.
Yeah, I just redid the math. 51 miles an hour.
Yeah, on a bird.
Yeah, on a car.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a horse going that speed?
I just pictured like the Pokemon move Splash actually being useful for once. Like, wow, that actually did something. I'll be damned.
Yeah, well, really, it only prolonged his life by about 12 seconds.
A few moments later, the chocobo was slain. The man tossed off, and Chef, under Tyro and Nell's watch, walked right up to him, prone on the ground, trying to crawl away, and just eviscerated him into the road. They all returned to town. They all returned to town, happily finishing that. And after a evening's rest, the reception of the wedding that had been pushed back a day because of, the murder, the party departed. Attempted murder. Well, the attempted murder of people, then the murder of the murderers. All 8 of them, plus one of the crowd plants.
Is it murder? I feel like it was just.
It's kind of murder. I feel like
extended self-defense.
At any point where a team of player characters jumps up and starts slaughtering people, it's murder. Even if they deserved it, it's still murder.
Even if they deserved it, it was still murder.
I'm going to choose that it was assisted suicide and/or death by cop.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, based on their rolls and their damage numbers, you wouldn't be wrong to think that, because their chances past those first few death attacks were like none of success in that, really. Like, to be fair, a lot more of those people could have suddenly died in one hit if it weren't for some of y'all. But
Yep.
But nah.
But yeah, we had the reception, we had the dance, we had food.
Y'all had your sleep. You went back to the airship the next morning, found Cookie loading a mech onto it. With a little bit of help, he successfully did. Y'all boarded, crowd gathered and waved you off, and you all rose, and that's where we cut it last time. So, picking back up from where we left off, you're airborne now. Koki's at the helm. Tyro's running the magic juice. And you guys are out here on the world map. Where are you going? Let me double check the land speed. There's not land speed. The overland speed of the airship, real quick.
I am curious as to if there really is anything that we are going to do come these 2 and a smidgen days of travel?
Mm-hmm.
Kev left me some instructions about what Ellen is going to do over the days. And really, she's gonna be
552?
cooking food for everyone
552,
at dinner. And use the material, like the 5 days of ingredients that she stocked up on, and the rest of the time is going to be either buried in Echo's fluff or asking Tiro for white magic instruction.
Okay. Does anyone have? Because I might have Kev's sheet, his most current sheet. I mean, because he's a character constantly in flux. Here we go. Here we go.
As usual.
Yeah. No. Indecisive men make indecisive characters. I don't know. Here we go. Here we go. I'm checking to see if Eleanor is trained in Knowledge Arcana, which she is not. So yeah, she's gonna I'm gonna have her making a general intelligence check here.
No. Can I borrow your book so Knowledge Arcana is a class skill?
It's not a class skill for me yet.
I guess
I would like to grab Tiro at some point while he's on the bridge.
well, unless Echo relieves me of fucking magic juice duty, I'm pretty much not going anywhere.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
well.
literally like 30 feet away from you at the helm, so we
Yeah.
could just yell across the ship.
And
It's fine.
More or less.
And I can help.
I mean,
I can
unless-
help keep
I
the-
mean-
sorry, I can help magic the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you trade off with me every once in a while, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what I could try to do is roll Knowledge Arcana to try and kind of help Ellen to see if that would give her any sort of a boost in learning shit.
See, the thing is I'm curious as to whether or not what we're doing with powering this crystal is kind of a band-aid fix. Because I can't imagine having someone need to stand there at all times and pour magic into this crystal is an intended function. This seems very inefficient.
Well, I mean, it's not to the point where it's actually draining my magic to the point where I leave. I start off with 40 and end up with 30. The way I view this is that I don't even know if it's quote unquote correct, but the way I see it is the magic powers the machine that uses the fuel to give us fucking lift off and all that shit.
Yeah, but having like someone have to be down in the engine room, someone having to be driving, and also requiring someone who can channel magic. It just seems like a very inefficient system, and definitely seems more like a band-aid than like this crystal needs to be replaced with a new one that does it on its own, sort of thing. And I wanted to put our Knowledge Arcana heads together and see if we could work out whether or not this was fully intended this way.
That would maybe be a good use of your time, actually.
Honestly, Nell was going to go up there anyways to figure out if maybe there's ways that she could power it. Either maybe seeing if bardic magic can work, or if she can figure it out with like whatever she's finding out in the books. So she would probably be up there possibly while they're doing this. Translation, would you guys like a 4+4 boost?
Yeah, the aura would be useful.
Because once again, once everyone was done, I was going to take a look at the
Let
crystal,
me put it
so.
to you this way. You come up and give the boost, I automatically get a flat 30 because I can take a 10 on Knowledge Arcana, plus
Okay.
the 16 from my bonus, plus the 4 from you, so that's 30. What do I get with a 30?
Like I said, I was going up there anyways, so.
That's a bonus.
Thank you, Master Scholar.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have to settle for my 28.
It's still not bad considering you rolled for that, and I'm just taking the 10.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, at some point, Eleanor does come up to you, Tyro, either while you're up there, holding the crystal like Sisyphus rolling the boulder, or while you're down in your chambers, and asks you to help explain to her how magic works to maybe put piecing together white magic. If you would like to make, what do
Teach Arcana.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to piece together.
Yeah,
If I want that to be a charisma thing or if that should be a knowledge thing.
can you take 10s on knowledge checks?
No,
Not
wait,
unless you're.
I think
not
there,
unless
there's
you have a
things for
class
that. There's
feature.
things for that.
Yeah, because with Sage in particular at level 7, sages
you
can
do
take
that.
10s on knowledge arcana, spellcraft, and use
Spellcraft
magic
is
devices.
nice.
Okay.
And they're always allowed to take a 10. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wait. I'm sorry. They get half the red mage levels as bonuses to those 3. However, they can always take a 10 on use magic, knowledge arcana, and spellcraft, while even distracted or otherwise endangered as well. So,
Okay.
but that does not apply to use magic device. I still have to roll that with some sort of disadvantage if distracted or otherwise.
Well, when you're distracted, you can't take a 10.
Well, with knowledge arcana and spellcraft, I can.
Yeah.
Because it's specifically stated in that. But use magic devices is voided from that. So, but yeah. Oh well.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say. What's your ability modifier for charisma?
It's a +4.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and just make a charisma check. Just raw charisma. This with +4.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, I didn't add the extra L. God damn it.
Meanwhile, I
God
don't
damn it!
and you with a natural
Well,
one.
that's a great start.
Either you're really distracted or something, but like she's having a hard time following it, and you're having a really hard time teaching it. Like, like you're having a hard time like just gathering your thoughts. Like you're kind of starting in the middle of an idea, and like in hindsight, like how the hell would she even have got that? And she is not getting it. So let's maybe take another swing at this later.
Okay, yeah, like next day, something like that. Yeah, just holy shit. Well, we're off to a great start, which is exactly why I took that fucking 10 to figure out damn crystal.
Yeah. Okay. Who else wanted to roll oriented things? While you two were on the bridge, you wanted to kind of feel out this whole airship thing with the crystal.
With the crystal, yeah.
Okay.
Between a 30 and a 28.
Okay. Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay. You guys using your nearly divine, arcane sort of insight here. It was not built for this. Like,
Do it.
at all.
I figured either that or it was just very, very old technology when they first started out type of bullshit. But
Nah, this ship's too good in all of the regards for this to be a
and
prototype
that's
bit.
that's kind of like what you're piecing together from everything you've seen about the ship, the way that it works, how fast it moves, like how elegant a lot of the systems are. Okay, especially being very deeply familiar with a lot of them now. There's no way that this would be a thing that you would have to do for this. And Tyro, your intuition of having spent all this time faffing with the crystal, like you feel like you've got your finger in the hole on the dam, you know? Like
This is my life now. I am on the ground floor of the Hoover Dam. Please forward my mail down here.
and there are probably measures that you could take. A lot of the magic, even at that level, is a little bit beyond you. You could try to replace the crystal, or you could try to do something, but it's possible it wasn't designed for you guys, for people who are like you. It may, and a little bit of its function is a little bit alien in that way, and so, like, you know, it doesn't interface with you right, which is the reason that you are having to do this.
But what about Tiro's knowledge of the old magics? Is that
Specifically in that way, this crystal is familiar in the way that Tyra's understanding of the old arcane stuff is.
Okay.
Like you get the impression that it is either from that period or it antedates that period or something, but it's built on that framework. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you're still fingering the dam here.
And there's nothing we can do right now about it.
There doesn't seem to be. No.
And I don't want to take it to Moonbright because
We'll never get it back.
we'll never get it back.
This is now the property of the state. This is way too fucking cool. We're never letting this leave. Oh my god. Oh. It's like you just
No, I'm
turn
sorry.
around. As you just turn around and it's just
WM1 all these.
it's just covered in scholars, like cockroaches crawling on all the outside of this airship. Like it's like barnacles.
Oh god. Kill them before they breathe.
Well,
But yeah, you guys are airborne, and y'all are having these conversations, and you're in the move. Where you heading east? You heading west? You heading north?
I'm
like,
heading to Abingdon City.
okay. Are you guys flying through the night? And if you are you? Well, actually, yeah. You can just nap for like 2 hours.
I can nap for 2
I mean,
hours.
we can.
I can let Ben drive for the 2 hours because he's been doing
He's
it.
technically
And-
done it before. Oh god!
And
Ah!
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Chef
You can always
can
bug Cookie as
also
well.
Chef can volunteer to actually fly the thing since she's in the 2-hour sleep club as well.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'll show you how to.
Mhm.
Don't worry. I can fly us.
No.
Chef, go ahead and make a knowledge technology roll, and
This is where we die.
Nice.
Koke,
I
Okay.
already rolled the
No,
first
no.
time one, so I think you'll be okay.
Koke, go ahead and make just a raw charisma roll.
Do I get a bonus for having started
it's-
reading that book?
Do I get any bonus because
bonus
I
for
know
reading
the
the
ship
book.
very well, or like because of my
No,
pilot skill?
unless you left your documentation about the boat like there, like open in front of it, and kind of had like the areas like had things circled of like, now if this happens, go to this page and look at this. If this happens, go to
No,
then you
no,
could give
no.
him the
Oh, God,
bonus,
here we
but
go.
That's how
I do have the book on me.
Keep in mind, that's
Like-
what we did also last time as well, because we needed someone to drive for a temporary amount of time, so
Mhm.
Nell had to do it, and the books were right there, and you allowed me to add the bonus to the rolls.
yeah, no, you could park the books there, and
I can pack the books.
you could park the books there and have Chef go through them and stuff. And you give me charisma, Chef give me knowledge technology with that bonus then, which I think was +4. Was it? It was +2.
It was plus 6.
It was +6.
I am on it.
Okay. Well, the
Hang
critical
on.
thing. What's that charisma check look like?
Uh,
It doesn't have to be high at this point.
I'm just kind of because it's a 13 with the bonus.
You're trying to piece back together where what the number was.
It's a +5 because I have 8 naturally and it's a 13 with bonus that I got
Okay.
marked here.
So yeah.
Wait, wasn't it a charisma check?
No.
This is-
She's for the books.
Adding having the books. I tried.
So, okay. Luckily, due to the height of Chef's roll, oh wait, no, yeah. Luckily, due to the height of Chef's roll, you guys, you match each other. Your rolls sum up, and you think he's got a good handle on it. Well, she's got a good handle on it.
Good. I'm only going to be down for 2 hours. Try not to crash the ship
There's,
in 2
there's,
hours.
there's not a whole lot
Thumbs
to
up.
crash into, and to be fair, the angle of drop that would have to happen to crash this thing would probably wake you up. Hopefully.
Fair enough. I've been meaning to, for a while, talk to these because we haven't had a chance to
Mhm.
talk about anything.
You guys,
'Cause we've
I
been just
can't
kind of,
believe
like,
in
pushing.
fucking art imitating life you guys have been putting off having the talk for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah. And we have plenty of time on this, but I don't want to. I think Koke wants to avoid it, but also talk about it because
Yeah.
Jamon had some interesting word he used, and Koke is like, okay, this needs to be broached.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In one of your breaks, as chef takes the wheel, you go and find Vise.
Damn, let's take the wheel.
Edge Lord, take the wheel. Take it from my hands.
Are you sure we shouldn't call Chef Jesus? Just say Jesus take the wheel.
It's there's a nice kind of mirror effect
Did you-
to the Dark Knight
did you-
Jesus, but
Did you say Jesus?
No, I did not, but that would be fitting. So sure, let's go with that.
I'm
You-
putting myself on the couch.
you go and you find Vise. You find her in a room on the airship. She's taken up in Let me double check because I have her parked here.
Yeah, she's in the room behind what was Galen's and
Yes.
Hara's room.
Yeah, she's in the tasting room, and Hitomi and Jeremy are in what was the late edgy couples room.
Thumbs up.
Um,
It was nice while I was in it. Enjoy.
oh God, why is there a hole in this bed?
There was filing happening in this bed, but
What was that, Ash?
nothing.
You should bounce out and back in.
You are
am
cutting
I,
out a
am I
lot.
having? Okay,
Boop boop boop.
right, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
You go. You find Vise. She's there hanging out. Hey,
So how are you enjoying the ship?
it's wonderful. And she kind of gestures out over her shoulder, and there's, half of that big glass bubble on that side of the ship. And from it, you guys can see all the way out to almost East Haven from where you are.
Oh,
It's like you see the mountains creeping up right at the edge of where the Molten Sea would be, but you can only see their peaks. But yeah, you see fucking the world from here.
How pretty.
What do you want to talk about? Okay.
we're just gonna kind of give a bit of a shrug, kind of like, assuming I want to talk about something.
You've got kind of that look.
Yeah, I do, don't I? I mean, been a bit rushed off our feet, haven't we? of
Yeah.
late?
Even with my sister's wedding, like we were in and out in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, a time limit does that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I bet the kingdoms will be fine now. I couldn't imagine Asmar turning on Lolan, and I couldn't imagine East Haven turning on a city that they just kind of married.
Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about it a lot, actually. Especially with moving forward, we're only missing one of the heirs, and that's from Hilfar.
Yeah.
It's
And
part of the reason why we're going to Abingdon.
well, a little bit, yeah. I couldn't imagine them trying something with the other three kingdoms all together. Like it's you don't engage in a fight you can't win, right? I mean, you guys do, but like most people don't.
And what makes you think that we couldn't win fights?
I have seen fights that you shouldn't have been able to win, and it has gone in very strange directions. This is all very weird, really. But I don't know.
It really depends on where you draw your strength from.
Well, I guess I'm still figuring that out.
And that's something else I wanted to. That's something else I've been thinking about a lot as well.
Hmm.
We don't have anything like knights on the primal step. We're all warriors, equal.
Yeah. No, that's so I
Right.
hear.
I know some of the oaths and the vows and loyalty that knights give to their lieges.
Yeah.
I have knowledge and ability.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you may be better off than I am in that way, and I am nobility.
Never know when I might need to turn into a knight. Just give her a big smile.
I mean, I think you'd have to eat one first.
She gets it. She gets it.
Well, probably. Not that's gonna happen anymore. I give her a bit of a shrug.
Mm-hmm. She's giving you the patient eyes of I'm waiting. What? Where you going with all this? Little sassy arms crossed.
I'm gonna let out a big, like, just breath in and breath out. I want to walk up to her and I want to carefully try and pry her hands from folded and just hold on
Mm-hmm.
to them.
She lets you pry. She holds your hands. Hey. Hey.
This is no knight's oath, but I hereby pledge more than a simple offering of protection. I offer my fangs, so that they may taste of your enemy's sorrow. I offer my scales, so that no arrow nor blade can find purchase. And I offer you my knowledge and experience, so that one day you will have more strength than I, and you won't need me to protect you. It's less than traditional, I guess, but I also offer you my freedom, so that you can explore and discover who and what you are without judgment. And I quickly let go and kind of step back, like with a
She's blushing at this point with a like, whoa, like okay. That's quite a resume there, I guess.
It's perhaps a little bit more indulgent on my part than what it seems like. I've been thinking a lot. I've certainly had the time to do so. You said that princesses are in short supply. And with your sister and Roderick and what happened back in Lullen, there's a future that may come to pass where it's not my place to love you anymore. But at least with this, I can make it my place to provide the support that I can until that point. For as long as you'll let me.
Okay. Okay.
I just kind of like look at the ground and just go very silent.
She kind of like walks up to you a couple steps and just, bends forward a little bit and hugs you, arms all the way around you.
As I'm enveloped.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should guess.
As the bird leans
As
into
just
the wall.
the distant
No, I was half expecting Roderick and Hitomi to make perception checks. Like, just get on with it. I just
They are
just hear
pretty
them from the
thin
other room,
walls,
just
to
like,
be
I
fair.
am kind of keeping it low here. I'm not like yelling it. Whoa. I'm just still looking at the ground. Just this I don't know what to do with myself. Kind
Yeah,
of.
no, the odds of either of them hearing this are very low. Neither of them are very perceptive.
I'm probably occupied.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. She kind of like as after a reasonable amount of hugging time, she kind of like leans back and like takes the bottom of your little scaly chin and tilts you up to face her, and she's like,
Hi.
"Hey, I mean, I accept, of course. Um, I I'd love to get to, well, to
I kiss her.
spend kiss, yeah.
And she struggles for words.
hmm And she kisses you back. Duh. And yeah, you now have a cohort. She will be with you duct taped to your character sheet. Um, what's
Yeah.
what what are other people up to?
Well, Nella's checking out the crystal, seeing if she could power it. Is also, since it's going to take a couple days, he's also going to take a look at those books as well. So I don't know if you want me to do a couple rolls for those or not.
Okay. Go ahead and make a knowledge arcana check. Are you trained in arcana? Do you have any points in it? It doesn't matter your bard, but critically, what's your bonus to arcana?
Even though I'm a bard, I have no points in it yet, but I can
Okay.
let's complete my aura, and technically I'm getting a +2 to intelligence mod from the bow as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's always equipped.
If you're taking like a long hard look at these crystals, and if you're for instance bringing some of these books with you, you could use them for reference to get like a extra +2 on your knowledge arcana here.
Sure, why not? Got the bag.
You haven't quite learned them yet, but like you've got reference books.
So that's an additional +2.
Yeah.
That should be a +8, I think.
I appreciate this like weird system of people having like textbooks nearby is doing for the party's library. Like,
Wait till we get to the city. I'm buying more books.
like eventually just gonna like you guys are just gonna be just a traveling library because like oh crap there's this very specific thing I need to do. Let me just get the book on that. Like
And there's nothing wrong with that.
your party is slowly becoming Google. Like
Good.
with the 17. Even untrained with the 17. You look at you kind of like you touch the crystal and you feel the essence, and you're touching an essence in a way that you haven't really touched before with with magic and stuff. And in some ways it reminds you of what you do as a bard, but it's different. It's very different, very weird and very purple. But when like looking through the
Yep.
books, like and looking at all the stuff about how to be an astrologian and all the class stuff there, you kind of see how you could apply your magic to this now, as you've been becoming flexible to this sort of thing. And if you wanted to, you could use your I think I haven't used your casting mod, right? Or is it spellcraft? I think I haven't used your casting mod. I can't remember. You can
Yeah,
use
you hadn't used my
crystal.
casting mod last time, so
yeah. You can go ahead and use whatever your casting mod is, and you could do this. You could do what he's doing right now, like in front of you.
Question: do I use my casting mod for my bard, or would it be when I have levels in astrologian?
Right? I mean, are you doing it as a bard? Or are you doing it as an astrologian?
Well, considering I don't have any levels in
Yeah.
astrologian yet, it would be bard.
But my point is like once you do get levels, you could make that selection.
Okay, it would probably stay
Just
as
by the
bard,
nature
considering
of cross classing, yeah. So yeah, and you can. I think it's charisma, right? You can go ahead and
Yeah.
charisma the crystal if you want.
Oh god, so it's just my base like
Just-
mod.
Caress
just
it
the mod.
gently.
Oh, crystal.
This is gonna be really bad.
Seduce the crystal.
What the hell?
21, as is the case with every time that Nell touches
As you-
magic.
As you sit down, you uncork the wine, the candles go, you peer into this crystal's deep facets and
God.
well chiseled sides.
Getting more intimate with this crystal than Nell's ever been with a
Mhm.
person. God damn.
And Tyro, as
Eyes
you're
like sapphires. I am a sapphire.
Tyra, as you kind of reach in and you feel yourself, holding this weight with your magic, it's like, all right, just going. You see Nell come over and touch, like, oh, look, Nell's touched the crystal too. Boom! As you feel like more than half of the load that you're under be lifted off you as she makes the same connection that you're making.
Okay, this is new. Don't know how I'm doing this, but okay.
well, it's certainly a welcome load off. Trust me.
I now know why Nell sticks around. magic fetish.
No, are you what these fucking rolls? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming like during like breaks, whatnot, can I still do since we're traveling for 2 days to rolls to study books?
For the sake of this, well, let's go on a day by day here. First day,
Okay.
you guys can go 552 miles exactly. Right there. Boom. Day 1, a quarter of the way around the world, as you guys just rocket into the sunset. Yeah. So yeah, what is that? Well, yeah, you want to make one of those rolls here for day 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
See with that.
Should I?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What
I'm
roll?
not destined for magic.
This is me reading the astrologian books, basically.
Okay. God, the 25. Jesus Christ. Every time.
I'm
Okay.
expecting to roll really low on these one day.
You get the impression that within like a few more days of reasonably high rolls, you could get a substantive permanent bonus to Knowledge Arcana. Just because of how efficiently you're learning this. Like it's one of those like weird things where you start getting it and you realize you could be taking a class on this, but you could also teach it to yourself in like 4 days because of how easily it's coming to you. One of those kind of moments.
Thank God, because my first tutor session for Eleanor went to shit. So,
Like I said, the first time she rolls low, she's gonna be heading straight to Tyro, going, "I didn't understand this. Do you understand this at all? Nope."
I'm 25 books in and I finally found the first thing I don't get. Let me just go get help. Like,
How many books do you have? I don't know.
Oh, so many books.
I just open it and just keep going until I find a new book.
You could probably actually turn the magic book bag upside down and kill someone with the non-lethal damage from the amount
just
of
the
books you
bludgeoning.
have.
Yeah.
I also, in my coca getting distracted, I do need to find Roderick and speak to him.
Okay. You doing this in the first day as well still?
Yes,
Okay.
it's important.
At some point, it's pretty, maybe just post your conversation with Vise, you literally go next door and you knock. You hear from inside. Oh shit! Hang on. It's Hitomi. Hey.
I need to speak to Roderick.
Just a minute.
Get
Make-
some pants on.
Go ahead and make a perception roll.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
21. Yes, you do hear a light whisper of "Get your pants on."
I don't know, don't inconvenience yourself for Mike's sake.
After a couple of seconds, like she's kind of got the door open like a crack. You see kind of walk eclipsing the rest of the crack. Big dude kind of leans the door up and he's got like the tunic still like open in the front, like big ripply chest out, like.
Okay, you're getting a show.
You expect there to be like a breeze blowing through his hair kind of shot, like.
Fucking Fabio just steps up to the door.
No,
Good
we left that guy in
evening,
Lowland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we did leave the what was it, the blue
Blue
what was
Pegasus
it
guy?
the fairy tale? Yeah, the blue Pegasus.
Mhm.
We left him behind.
Sir Cavort of Lola.
As in, he likes to cavort.
Yes, that's the gag.
Oh.
There's gonna be some puns in people's names in this world, guys. I fucking wrote it.
It is you after all, yeah.
But yeah, he leans the door open. Yeah.
Just kind of like give him a little head bow. I just wanted to kind of not necessarily remind, because I never told you in the first place, but I can't think of the correct word for it right now. But the men of this group, this whatever we are now. When I not so lightly took light command, I did say that this would be neutral ground for them. I know that you now have ties to Lilin, as do I.
Yes.
But while we're on the ship, I would ask that you respect the neutrality of the ground here in the sky.
Absolutely. We're in somewhat the domain of you and of your party. I don't really think the Four Kingdoms applies here, if that's what you're getting at.
Somewhat. I have to be careful myself, given my own romantic ties, obviously.
I suppose.
When you're no longer tied up, perhaps in the morning, the man we have in our custody, I would like you to talk to him. You are both East Haven, and perhaps
yes.
you can find out more of what they're after. I would rather mend this rift than stuff one side out completely. That never ends well.
I'll talk to him, but I don't have particularly high hopes.
Am I still watching him?
If you want to be, you've had a whole day on this boat. If you want to just watch him all day, you can. But
I want to stay. I want to stay watching.
I mean,
okay.
Ellen is coming in every now and again to flump on Bird.
Mm-hmm. Well, also
And,
to watch the prisoner. To watch the prisoner. But
Of course,
Echo,
First and
Really
foremost,
just-
yes.
gotta keep an eye on him. In case he tries to pull something. Like Echo might need some help. Flump.
Mhm.
Nuzzle,
I
nuzzle, nuzzle, nuzzle,
mean-
nuzzle.
All of this
Speak of the proverbial devil.
all of this is a lot of hope, as practical and quite honestly shocking as all of this has gone so well.
I should say so, yes.
It's worth a try. I just wanted to bring that forward. I'm sorry to keep you from your business.
It's perfectly fine.
Again, I remind you that people are working through the night. Make sure you keep noises down.
We'll try.
Hypocrite.
No, not a hypocrite.
You guys chased Hitomi out of her room the first night. I don't want to hear shit there.
Chased
Hey.
her out, but didn't make enough noise to interrupt anybody.
She left.
because
She
I wasn't
left
asked
of
to
her
roll
own
perception.
volition. And
Sure.
hey,
I offered. Anyway,
uh,
I'll leave them to their business. I've got to go and sleep for my 2 hours. Maybe take a little bit longer. I don't know. But I am going to Visa's room to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
we just got finished. Maybe making a little bit of light fun of Ellen's fondness for Echo.
It's fine. Also, my
Of
attempt to
the-
teach white magic failed spectacularly with a nat 1, so if you wish to try again the next day, you're more than welcome to.
Excellent.
It was oh yeah, I'm gonna go keep an eye on the prisoner. Closed door, flump into Echo like a body pillow.
I could try teaching her white magic.
I don't have a translator with you.
Yeah.
No.
If I'm using if I use wisdom, I could just kind of like if I just need to know that she's trying to learn it.
That'd
Really.
be a hell of a penalty.
And watching Ellen try to mimic you and doing the funky chicken every time she tries to fucking cast cure.
I will pay you.
Yes.
Funny
I need
funny note here. Oh, you want to recap? They got on the boat. We've been flying this whole time.
Okay.
We are 44 minutes in.
Okay. I
At
need my walkie bird.
Yeah. At this point here, reaching kind of the late night, Funny note. Off the northern end of the boat, you guys can see a glow on the horizon, like light bleed, just coming around the corner, the edge of the world. You can't see where it's coming from because it's about 10 miles over the horizon, but there's something glowing over there.
Hmm.
Is that normal?
I
Well,
don't know. There's only 5 days in a week. Does the sun go north to south in this world too?
I considered that, but I couldn't square the circle of the climate ramifications of that.
Okay, so this is unusual.
This is
so
unusual.
you're talking light bleed to you're talking bleeding light to the north.
Hmm.
Given where we're at, would it be reasonable for those familiar with the city as to
Yes.
think it might be that?
Yeah. No. Specifically, you and Nell, Tyro and Nell, you know that's the city. That's big ol' city that never sleeps style, the high rise kind of place, and it is there. The light pollution is amazing. that you can see it from this far away.
Jesus.
I didn't realize the sun rose from the north.
Yeah, no, yeah. Which Kogi, like as you're kind of like getting ready to go down and sleep, it looks like there's a sunrise happening on the northern edge of the ship.
God.
Okay, I know I'm tired, but I'm not that tired.
Carry a harpoon.
Okay, how the yeah, both our characters must have known that during childhood. That's that bad and we're that far away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, considering we only lived on the outskirts. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man. that
Which,
must
to
have
be
been
fair,
shit.
for you guys on the ground, it wouldn't be so bad.
Okay, that makes sense. then.
Because you guys are at a lower elevation. Where you guys are at now, which I've estimated at about 13,000 feet, as Google tells me that's the cruise altitude of a Zeppelin. But
Zeppelins.
it is just over the horizon from you, and from your height, like you get that refraction across the top of the atmosphere in a very strange way. But
Jesus.
being in upstate New York, you still you don't get the light pollution from New York because you're on the ground. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
but yeah, it's that there's a city over there, just can't quite see it as you all coast by.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I never have to see it. Yes. Again.
Again. But yeah, to your south, you guys see, you can see the town of Yaren on the northern edge of the Riverlands. There's a lot of water. Unless I fucking try to tour guide your way across the ocean.
John, do you have SPC?
Hmm.
I was just I was stressing on your tour guide role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Horizon's 140 miles away right now.
And on our starboard side,
Yeah,
or is it the
it's-
port
yeah.
side? Or is it the aft? I'm not sure.
To the side we don't care about is the nope as we continue to the city that we
Yeah.
all can't pronounce or spell. Is it
Abingdon,
Is it
Abaddon.
Abaddon? All confusion.
You don't pronounce the hard G. It's a very soft G. It's just Abingdon.
Abingdon.
Just like there's a hair of N.
Abingdon.
There's the hair of N in there.
Abingdon.
No, not a harding. Oh my god.
Just call it Abaddon.
As you all pop open your books and like Google pronounce the city.
Jesus Christ.
Out of curiosity, since I'd probably be on the bridge helping Tyro power the ship, I know he's prone there. Is there any way I can like look over and see how he's acting now that we're near the city? Sense motive or something?
Sure, you can sense motive as he looks out the window.
And just quivers like.
It's more like a mild.
Flashbacks.
Well, let's see how she rolls, and it's like
25. Are you hiding
That is
anything
without ore, by
about
the
your
way.
reaction? Like,
you see a kind of general look of disdain for being anywhere near there right now.
Sneering at the ball of light on the horizon.
I guess he didn't like his time in the circus after all. Just focus back on Crystal.
yeah, fuck that city.
certain as Ope.
Alright. You all continue on your way?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you've got the range. Um,
After my 2 hours
Yeah.
of sleep, I will relieve Chef of the duty.
of helming.
Unless you want to stay on.
I mean, it's a little fun. It's quite boring.
I mean, it's whenever my Pathfinder Union time of rest is over, I go back to training the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got stuff to be doing. Here's your loan.
It does feel a lot like Union rules. The crafting and the retraining stuff at
I've got
You can't, yeah.
I've got a
Mhm.
lot to think about still, and I can use the time of boring to think about it because I have an idea for the ship. All I need to do is work out how much it's going to cost me to enchant it.
I thought you were gonna say you need some candles and lipstick.
Yeah, I have an idea for this ship. All that I need is a house full of orphans, some candles, and a couple of months. We're gonna put a hive mind in this thing.
No,
I thought you were
no,
gonna
no.
MacGyver some bullshit.
No, I have a plan that will upgrade the ship, but I need to work out how much it's going to cost me to do that. And whether or not it's possible to enchant the ship like a wondrous item.
Besides
It's a
that,
very complicated process, but yeah.
besides
Well-
that, installing a hive mind of orphans in the ship would be a very bad idea. Because we would be flying south of Zenope, and then this thing would take a hard north turn as we just hear screaming of McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's.
As the boat swerves to the consumer capital of the world.
Yeah, to pull into the fucking
I'll pull into the
drive-thru.
drive-thru, I'll order a black coffee and leave.
Uh,
Ugh.
but yeah, do you guys continue your flight? Does anyone want to do anything in the second day aside from Chester training and presumably Nell's reading?
If I could watch, if I know that if Eleanor is trying to learn white magic, I want to attempt, even though I don't have words or
Just doing the itty bitty anakus just very slowly so that she can follow.
Either that or I can take another crack
I
at
will
it.
even take the penalty. I'm basically trying to explain a feeling.
Okay.
That's all I really have of magic.
You're trying to tell her it tastes purple, but in not even a language.
Yes.
Go ahead
Why
and
would it
make.
taste
You
like
want to read
lime?
the
Well, I mean,
squigglies.
I have to know. I have to know. There has to be something that actually, like Tyro, Eleanor. Is there a segment where
God,
I
I'm
would
fucking tired.
where I would see you guys trying to learn it today, or
I guess you could. Okay, for Eleanor, which is higher, wisdom or intelligence? They are even. Okay.
Exactly the same.
Go ahead and make either an intelligence or a wisdom check, and Echo make just a raw charisma check at 5e disadvantage.
Let's roll twice. take the
Roll
lowest.
twice, take the lower one.
I guess wisdom check.
Does Hitomi count as a summoner for my purposes of?
She does count as a summoner, but probably not for your purposes.
Okay.
Okay, 14. So you've got 16. You've got a haul here, Echo.
Tony's probably 100% self-taught too.
that's,
Okay.
that's-
What's
That's
not
the other
good.
one? Damn it! Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Tyler will
So,
take one last chance to attempt to teach. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
yeah, no, as Echo attempts to sort of empathically, magically explain to Eleanor through dance and queeing and symbols how white magic works. To Eleanor's credit, you're more focused today than you were yesterday when Tyra tried to teach you, because you rolled like super low, but You're more
Then
focused
again, I rolled
today.
a fucking that one.
But then Ty rolled it out one. But you're not getting this. For a minute, you thought you might, but then no, you're not getting this. And you go to find Tyro, and you take another swing at it with him.
Okay.
With a 13.
It's 13,
Is that lucky or unlucky? We'll
and
see.
Oh, what? I could fucking
and
disadvantages.
no. Eleanor, make another intelligence or
Oh, okay.
wisdom roll.
Oh, okay.
You feel like you're so close. You're so close. Like you're starting to get a cursory understanding, and you're not sure how much of it is stuff that you already knew and is now just being codified, or how much of it is actually new learning. But you're not quite to the point where you could magic up.
Yeah. It's
Would
You're-
you rather learn? Would you rather learn the better magic, like blue magic? Just a little dance.
Silly question. Out of all the books I got, since Astrologian actually deals with white magic as well, is there any books I had that might help her?
In fact, yeah. A lot of the books that you have aren't Astrologian specific. A lot of them are generalized to learning magic, like early learning magic, outside of the kind of the chromatic split of the current arcane spellcasting spectrum. You could find a more generalized introductory book that Eleanor could use.
Oh, keep in mind if you go towards like the engine room at all, Nell's probably gonna have at least a book or two out looking at that, so you probably might notice that she's actually looking at this type of stuff.
okay.
In fact, funny note, you just tried really hard learning this from Echo. You went to Tyra, you tried really hard, you were close. Do you want to see if Nell could teach you?
Oh god.
Star Doggo.
I guess since we're playing the point and click adventure walk around the ship, sure, let's go.
Okay. And as day 2, yes, and like she's up there like piloting the ship, like I have a feeling someone's trying to do something that I could be helpful for, but nah. As you go on your tour of the ship to all of the casters, and they all come up a little bit short, you come up to one of the not quite casters.
I don't know in a book like a good portion of the freaking trip.
Yeah, well, you have the benefit of freshly learning all this too, which makes it a lot easier to explain. Go ahead and make a just make a charisma check, and Eleanor make either an intelligence or a wisdom
Alright.
check.
Oh, thank fucking God. I thought
This
you were
would
gonna
go.
say that.
This would,
God.
nah. This would go a lot easier if Eleanor had points in Knowledge Arcana.
Nope. This is not her thing.
Not yet, anyway.
No.
Nope.
Even between the two of you,
Fucking nether.
it is not pushing you over the line. Like God, like
you're telling me to feel it out, but I don't feel anything, and then I have to draw power from the ether. But how do I do that?
Can I toss a book at her? Seriously?
Literally just throw the
Read that.
are you literally tossing the book at her?
Take
I-
one D2
I will probably either hand her the book or slide the book towards her, considering I don't really want these to get damaged because they're probably worth more than anything I've ever seen. Period.
So you
Yeah,
get a book tossed off to you, Eleanor. You could
Okay.
probably read this at night and start working your way down the long train towards picking up free Knowledge Arcana like Nell's doing.
All right.
If you wanted to make this whole pursuit a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Like,
Oh, it's
I
sitting
I just
down with the-
Hmm?
Huh? What'd you say?
I just appreciate how high Nell keeps rolling for all this and how low Eleanor keeps rolling for all this. Like,
See, now that you say that, my next roll for this is going to be absolutely shit.
It's fine. I mean, she
closest-
literally knows nothing about magic at all, other than other people can do
Join
it.
the club. Join the fucking
I-
club.
Can I just pan my head? You know, like the hole that's the echo broke through, where the spiral staircase is. Can I just stick my head through and be like, "Have you tried being a blue mage? It's a lot easier because you You don't have to pull from any ether. It's all internal.
I also can't eat everything.
It doesn't. That's my thing. You
And
can
I'm just sitting.
watch
And during
and
during this conversation, Chef just walks by with the straw, sticks it onto Koke's skin, walks away.
I mean,
Just for the daily
ignoring
pull.
that.
It's that one like I don't draw from the ether. I draw strength from my friends. Very literally.
I draw my strength from everything else. But no, seriously, blue magic's more about.
God damn it.
Blue magic is more about manipulating what you have yourself, or in my case, being an empty vessel and just consuming the essences and that sort of thing. I mean, I can try at least teach you how to manipulate MP. That's a start.
I suppose. It's not like we're doing a whole lot else on this trip.
Would you like to come up here, or are you all right with ceiling aura? I'm just like upside down.
Yeah.
I'll be up in a minute.
Okay.
Whoop.
Invoking something with a
Which-
climb speed, like
Which, by the way, by this point, that the sort of shaft that she was sticking her head down, that spiral staircase has been rebuilt. You can just walk up that now. Thanks
Okay,
to the fine craftsmen in Lowland.
So, now that I think about it, what spells does Chef want to draw from Tiro on this trip?
I was
You've-
gonna take
you've got
two
2 days.
stocks at Detour.
Okay.
All right. As the
it's just-
blinking Dark Knight intensifies.
Yeah.
It's just too useful. I don't wanna like constantly keep 5 stocks, because again, it is your thing, but
Yeah.
20-foot
literally
movement speed.
saved 20-foot movement speed, and 2 literally saved royal life within the last couple days. Like,
Yeah,
been important.
y'all.
Now, can I take this at a very intellectual sort of thing rather than charisma? Because I'm not unlike the bird and the fucking red mage. I'm far more intelligent than I am charismatic.
Unfortunately, the great bounty of knowledge in your head doesn't help you too much teaching it to someone unless you can communicate that, which is what I'm using charisma as a force of personality to measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, she's sitting there with this heavy book. It's like, oh god, it's like reading all the laws in Lowland again.
Because
Okay, so I gotta kind of back it up. I mean, I gotta kind of back it up a little bit, because I learned the normal sort of stuff with blue magic, and then I learned how to manipulate my body with it, and then I learned how to just rip the essences out of my enemies' corpses. So give me a second to just think back to how my original lessons went.
Now, Koke, one day you may want to cast blue magic, and this is how you do it. Looks out window, gets distracted by like a cat running across the field. Koke even paying attention? Flashes back to nowadays. Damn it.
Because you could know and be able to
Oh, nice.
recite
Okay.
everything to teach somebody, but the
It's
charisma
a little
is
bit
all
in my
about-
mind. It's a little bit in my mind recently, because I promised to teach peace. So kind of
Mhm.
getting this idea of how to do it. I mean, practice on
Go
you.
ahead and make your little intelligence check.
Yeah.
God, if it's another 11.
12.
Slightly better.
Still shy by 2 points.
Aw, damn it.
She's trying.
As Eleanor spends basically the entire day going door to door, spending like a 2-hour seminar here, like a 3-hour seminar here, like a 2-hour seminar here, just trying to learn magic, one wizard at a time.
I don't magic. I hit things with the sword.
Hey, we got
What
some
do you
reading
mean?
material now.
I've seen the stuff you can do with the sword. It may not be magic in the way of I cast guidance on her, but it's still magic nonetheless. Yours is just more raw and instinct rather than learned or stolen in my regard.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You just
But
it's just gonna take some time. Not all of us can be savants. Fucking hell.
Right.
and
Whereas
as
like her sword techniques are just like drawing on the ether in her own body to fuel that shit.
Dark Souls
That's what
3
I do.
style. And as you go, the sun rises. You see the town of Yaren. You see the town of Watford. You pass over land for the first time in your whole trip. Like, hey, land. And then as soon as it's there, it's gone.
And then it's gone.
You see the island town of Leibster. And how close? As you get close, you see pretty clearly out the left side of the airship, the Tower of the Whites. This long spinning tower all the way up into the sky. You see the head of it before you see the rest of it, just because of how tall it is.
Huh.
And it's like wow, big old fucking tower.
Is
looks
there
like
windows?
It looks like it's made of carved ivory. Yeah, no, it has windows all over it.
I want to just kind of like, is there anyone in the window? So we passing close enough to see.
Make the hardest perception check in history as you try to look in a window on a building like
do you wanna
80
borrow
miles
my,
away.
You want to borrow my greatsword periscope?
Come on, Koke. No.
Nope. Oh my god. So yeah,
Meanwhile, with
you-
a 29.
still with a
Oh,
29, you
no.
still don't say this is a DC 40 thing, guys. You're trying to see a person in a window, like on the horizon from you. Like that's inconceivable.
I thought we were closer.
Well, it's in view, but you're not like passing by it. Like you're not like kissing the side of the tower.
Okay.
Like
Okay, because I was just gonna press myself against the big bubble window, just like hi. But no.
Be glad Will's not a bad or an evil DM, because that one could have been a
Peering
glass,
over the edge and
a glass flare off the window right into your eye. Oh my god!
Can't see.
I'll be fine.
Drive the helm.
Turn the wheel violently.
but no,
Well,
like
I wouldn't be doing it from perch.
Yeah.
I'd be down in the in my
At
room.
the, oh, I was thinking at the wheel.
No.
Right.
Between
yeah,
Ben knowing and being able to pass off to Chef, I wouldn't be spending all of my time up on the wheel anyway.
but yeah,
Do I need to make-
Tyro, you get a good view of it. You still want to make your reading check. Go ahead and make your.
Yeah, I was about to want me to do that. I mean, I had to roll those sometime.
Okay. You feel like not today because something feels a little bit off today, but probably if you had another evening to push at this, you'd get it. You'd be there for you'd have enough of it memorized that you wouldn't even need to look at the books anymore to more easily arcana things.
I was about to say, there is no way I read an entire library of books in like 3 or 4 days.
No, you've read a good chunk of them though. You've read probably 4 or 5 books at this point. Like they're not cover to cover, but like
References and whatnot.
yeah, like you've gone through 4 or 5 books here, and like all through the index, like how they all kind of go together. You're almost writing your own curriculum here, which has been going more successfully than you'd expect. But yeah, you pass the Tower of the Whites, beautiful little tower. Tyra, with your cat-like eyes, you see the very fine carvings all along the outsides of the tower. Like this was probably a construction project that took hundreds of years. And then you guys come up on Abingdon City. Do I have any better music for this? Anything cool? Yeah, kinda. Da-da-da-da-da. As you crest over the horizon, you see before you the capital of the faith, Honoria.
Ooh.
Water
Final
takes the water.
Fantasy
Mhm.
Vatican, which
Yep.
means this is where the final boss will be.
Yeah, with the corner. There you go.
I'm gonna eat everything.
Well, there you are. You have arrived.
I'm kind of chuckling at like the top right and the bottom right photos. It's like this is the city above water. This is the city below water.
Yeah.
Just because of the similar pantheon it's got going there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll
I
notice a sort of trend here between all these depictions of early Christian and Byzantine styles and Gothic styles of Christian architecture across all these different games. Imagine the Final Fantasy 15 one, but with less water. Imagine Anor Londo, but a little less spiky. Imagine, Vatican
Water
City, but
crystals,
taller. Imagine the Hagia Sophia, but bigger.
I want to use the intercom, the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. We are approaching Abingdon City. If anyone's been here before, can you come up to the bridge? I need to know if there's any place I can land the old bird.
Quick check through. Nope.
Queen.
None of your NPCs have been here before. I don't think any of your players have either.
Yeah, no.
Probably a half hour passes
I'm bird.
of you coasting in. Nobody comes up to the bridge. Nobody's been here before.
But
Oh,
I come up to the bridge if I'm not there.
I mean, I might know a little bit about it with 3 ranks of knowledge religion, but that's more of a this is what this city is more than being a tour guide.
would a knowledge help me at all?
Knowledge history could help you, but maybe a knowledge local would be better. Kind of piecing together in large cities in general. Okay. Like piecing together in large cities in general, where is it proper to land your airship? 24. Okay, glancing around and like kind of looking at the window and looking at the ship, you don't see any airship towers, though you do see right here, right next to this large crescent columned building, you see a tower with a kind of big bulbous head on it, but you don't think that's an airship dock. You look off to the right, around the corner of this sort of cliff edge over here, you see some boats kind of just docked, and in a moment of intuition, this thing would float.
Oh god.
I pull on the turning to come on to engineering sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Do those doors close down there now?
They should. Hang on.
No. I mean, can we? Can we get them closed?
After a couple of moments, you basically everyone on the ship, you feel ka-dunk, just like this terrible scraping sound. And funnily enough, Koke, you see on your control panel one of the little switches flip all under its own power right before that happens. And after a few moments, yep, they're closed. Bong, bong, bong. Yeah, that'll hold.
All right. I'm bringing it down the water then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. Let me just go ahead and. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please watch your step when you get off the boat. I'm landing in the water.
You can all move the airship now.
I would be heading to wherever the harbor, where the other ships are, just coasting in with my airship down.
You find them right there on the edge of a thing that you don't know what it's called, but it's called the Titan's Fist. Oh, yeah. You drop your airship down. Go ahead and make a piloting check. Or make a piloting check.
I'll try not to kill us, guys.
As you bring the airship in for a landing. 22. You very, very gently kiss the back undersail first, and you kind of the whole thing sort of rooster tails into the dock, and slowly by slowly, big old butt of the kind of lower butt into the ship kind of hits the water with a scoop, and then the front of the ship hits down, and you slide into port and stop kind of right near a tie down. As a few different like people on different boats look in at you, and like you're kind of glancing around through the window stuff. You see people just like watching this airship come into dock.
I wave if they're looking up to where I am.
Mhm. And yeah, y'all dock.
So
That wasn't so bad.
Bring it in.
They're gonna think to land on the water.
Hey, is everyone good? This is my first time ever landing the airship in a body of water. Everyone still got all their bits intact?
I'm in the bridge,
Think
and
so.
even though there's no one translating for me, I'm basically saying, "What's this about a bird?"
Hello, Echo. Pat.
But yeah.
I make a round to make sure everyone's good.
Yeah, and luckily with the height of your piloting check, nobody had to make reflex saves to not get ragdolled across the surface of the ship. So you find they are all fine.
How's the ship holding up in the water?
You as you go downstairs, you find a moment where Cookie is like standing over, like you find him kind of crouched down, like looking at a weird kind of corner between where the sort of big loading bay doors closed, and just as you kind of see him stick his fist straight through it, and after a couple of moments he pulls his fist back, there's a little spout of water, then immediately stops, and like he looks back at the hole.
Well,
Was he just sitting there casting mending the whole time?
are we gonna hold here?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Good.
It's a weird boat, though. And he kind of like gestures you over and he points at the hole. And you can pretty clearly see the surface of the water through the hole. And based on your intuition about pressure and the way that boats float, surely this should be spouting water right now. He just like looks at it and he looks back up at you.
Did he put mage armor on the boat?
Did you do this?
Nope. And he kind of grabs your hand, and he kind of like pushes it down into the little gap, and your very small Aura hands whoop right through little gap, and they get wet. You feel water, and you pull back, and it's like pulling back through a membrane, and then
Can
You
I
just-
make a
little spout of
spellcraft
water.
check?
you can.
Nope.
You have no idea.
I have no idea what this is.
Oh,
Lots of one.
too much awe.
There's a lot of ones today. A lot of ones today, especially from Koke.
This is amazing.
It's pretty cool.
This means that the ship's airtight magically.
Yeah. Looks at you, shrugs. Cool.
Did he flub his check too?
I'll take a crack at it.
That sounds like space travel. It sounds like we should go to the atmosphere
However-
right now.
You see, the thing is this is what I was planning on doing. There's a thing called a necklace, which creates a seal over you, so you can breathe underwater and in space. I was going to enchant the airship with it, so we'd have like a pocket of air no matter where we went. That was my plan. But it fucking seems like
okay,
it's
yeah.
already.
So yeah, no, Typhra, as if you wander your way down, presumably also curious about, hey, are we leaking right now? Because like we haven't tried this before. You wander down, you find like you walk in just as Koke's hand comes back up and she has the gout of water. You walk over to them and you look, and you pretty deftly ID. There's a wall of force around the entire ship right now. There's like a little thin membrane.
I grabbed Tiro's hand. Look at this, and shove it through.
Your hand gets wet.
And
Just gonna
I
like
have
shake my hand up, like getting the
no
water on. Okay,
idea.
it's like bad, bad.
Just a little.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. No, it's strange behavior.
I mean, if we're gonna be
Well, I've kind of a hard time getting the mech out here. And he looks over, and there's the big, like Magitech mech thing over in the corner.
God, that thing again.
well, it should be fine over there for now.
Yeah, okay. You see a small amount of disappointment in his eyes as he probably wanted to take that out for a drive.
Let's be honest, I don't think the people in the city would enjoy seeing a giant.
It
mech
would be a
walking
very bad idea.
streets.
Anyway, we need to go and find out where Hitomi needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
I probably would have gone to get them.
Park by, I'm assuming some type of docks, right?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
there with tie downs and moorings, and there's other boats around, and it doesn't have like the kind of really long like docks like you had back in Moonbright, but it's got kind of like parallel parking all along a cliff face.
Sure, but they also had someone watching the docks in Moonbright too. Makes me wonder if we just stole someone's spot or we had to register.
I mean, there are other sailors around on boats, probably 80 feet from you that way, 60 feet from you that way. Like,
Guess we'll find out when we leave.
what are y'all doing? The city is open to you.
I'm gonna go get Hitomi and Roderick and whatnot.
All right. You find them all geared up. Like you knock on the door, they come over to the door. Yeah. Psh, door opens. They are ready to go. Hitomi looks very summonery today. She's got like robes on, and she's got like a
Does she have to summon a
staff.
head dong?
Summon her
Final
head-
Fantasy,
God damn it.
summon a head dong.
I'm checking to see if it's what I'm thinking it is.
Tell about the
Oh,
summoner
It's
horn.
a
Many
unicorn.
summoners
It's a
have-
unicorn headband.
Yeah,
Oh no, that's not what I'm thinking of.
it's a thing. It's a thing. But like the one in Final Fantasy 14 is thick. It's a head dong.
I mean, the one in 11 wasn't that bad.
No, wasn't that bad.
Alas, she does not have one yet.
She hasn't got her artifact armor quest yet.
Keyword yet.
Yet.
Yeah,
Getting
she's here.
intensifies.
She's here for the AF and Relic quest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the quest picks up over in Ixion's Bolt. Does
Hey,
we'll
anyone,
just-
does
we'll
anyone
just-
have fast
we'll
travel
just-
there?
Yeah, we can just take my ship to fast travel. It's fine.
Crap, I need to be this level first.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's level 1 still, isn't she?
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
double check in here.
Unless
Right,
she
no,
leveled up
she's
from
level
the-
2. She's level 2.
Okay.
Because I think
Oh,
she leveled up from the Garland fight. She should have probably got experience from from
I'm being
the-
assassinated.
from
almost.
the I'm being assassinated fight. But
She
she
did. She did contribute.
she did contribute. I didn't give her any of the experience. I should though. I should. You'll get experience later.
Probably
Hitomi.
wouldn't hurt.
All right.
I'm gonna
Less likely to be
I'm
killed randomly that way.
Might need it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
the boat is here.
All right. You ready to go?
I've been ready for almost a month now. She kind of like
Right.
glances over, like, we doing this?
I'm ready to go. If you are.
Okay. And
See if we...
she follows you,
All right. She's gonna go round everybody up.
and Roderick's following her.
Yeah.
And presumably after a few minutes here, the party comes together on the top deck of the ship, getting ready to depart. Where y'all going?
I'd like to join you. Heading to I'm going to assume you need to head to Cathedral Elixion, but I think I need to go to Leviathan. Given everything that happened in Moonbright.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Would you like to come with me, or do you want to stay with Hitomi? I'm talking to V's.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I really want to be there for both of those things. Can we maybe do
It's
one
okay.
then go to the other? I mean, I don't want to waste anybody's time here.
Go with Hitomi. I'll be fine.
Okay. Okay.
And then we'll look after you. I'll be fine on my own. It's only going to be a few questions. I'll be back
Only-
before you know
It's only going to be a few questions.
it. A few questions.
All right, is everybody ready to disembark?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
come on,
stick with-
Francis.
I'm
I
gonna stick with. Can we bring the Who's It with us, or should he stay on the ship?
He is going to be under the care of the crew. I'm leaving it to Ben and the rest of them.
Okay.
I appreciate that we've got like Valifor's Peak, Leviathan's Bounty, Shiva's Sheet, Ixion's Bolt, and Diablos' Corner, like the edgelord that he is.
This is my corner.
Take a look at the residential neighborhood that backs up to it.
Shade
that-
Road.
Shade Road.
The Shade Road and Lowtown.
Lowtown.
Like, we're all we're missing is Undeadburg. Like,
Yeah.
especially with Anne Orlando right over there.
Mhm.
Right over there, yeah.
No. Wait.
Shiva's sheet.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, I'd say let's get off with Hitomi. Me and Roderick will, kind of flank her to keep her safe, and we'll try to find somebody who knows the way there.
I guess I'll follow Eleanor if we're not bringing the Who Is It with us, because as much as I really want to make sure that he's okay, I also want to see this new place.
Mhm.
So how long are
That
people
caption's
gonna
way too
be-
big.
how long are people gonna be gone on their adventures here? Like,
I don't know. How long have we been on our adventures here?
I'm torn in three different directions. I'm torn between staying on the ship, because we'd never know. We could have had an assassin in the cargo bay doors hiding under the speeder this entire time. Kind of want to follow Koke because I think she's going alone.
Yeah,
and
So
So
I
far,
kinda,
yeah. So far.
and I kind of want to just nosy off to Diablos' corner. But I suppose we'll be here for a little while, so
I mean, you haven't talked to anyone. You don't know how long Hitomi's gonna have to be here. You do know that. I mean, at least systematically, you know that Koke needs like I think a week. We can double check the numbers on that, but I think it's like a week.
if it's gonna be a week.
Yeah, you told me a week.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, it's
not
like,
that I would have communicated that to anybody. But
mhm.
Does
nor do the characters really know, to be fair. But
does Koke want a buddy along? Just for, safety's sake.
as Chef glances over and gives you the eyes.
Yeah, the slash invite space. How do you spell your character name again?
I mean, if you really want to come along, then I won't stop you. But
Whip.
I mean, you hanging around me a lot in recent times. You didn't leave me behind with what everybody else did down in the depths.
Kind of. I guess you could call it a first friend in a long time.
I appreciate it.
It's either I go with you or I babysit.
Yeah,
Just
True enough.
shrugging.
true enough.
I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna keep training. I'm gonna be near.
Okay, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
Watch-
for
watch.
today at least.
Just watch the
Before you do, like, detach yourself from my party, can I use your charisma score for a gather information? Because I'm not particularly good at it. I need to know where the fire things, like, places.
You are barking up the wrong tree.
I
You got the
thought,
wrong mouse.
I thought,
You have the wrong mouse.
As
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably just dimensioned to her, was like, nope, see ya.
fuck, you know.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
But-
I don't feel like being social today. Poof.
All right, bye.
I feel like, all right. I will attempt a flat charisma roll.
Where
Do
were
you have
you?
any points in diplomacy?
Hmm?
Do you not have anything in gather information?
No,
Oh,
he's-
okay.
he's a single.
If I
She's
gather
not a
on
single point.
She's
she's
an
an
edgelord.
Alright.
If you want me to gather information via intimidate, oh boy, can I do that! But walking around grabbing people by the scruffs of their necks
Where
and
is
going,
it?
"Where's Leviathan's bounty?" is just
I mean,
I had to do
I-
that to find a scroll shop.
I ain't gonna judge you.
Yeah.
I'm fine with getting this in.
good way to clear the street quickly.
Ah, well.
But
Maybe
I
it'll
can,
make the
I
signs
can.
easier to see.
Do you have more than a +5?
Yes.
Well, then you are better off doing it yourself.
All right.
That's silly.
Okay.
Hey.
You're looking for where you would find a church to Leviathan.
Yes.
Okay. Luckily, asking around where you are right now, which is around all of the docks and sailors and stuff, they know because it's right over there, and it's most of their patron. And you are directed to, you just see over there on the right. You see the corner of that building? That is a long winding building, stretches all around the corner. That whole thing is the Temple to Leviathan. That way.
Okay. That's okay. Quick math check. 60 feet. Double tap. For full run action. Would I make it in 18 rounds, moving at 60 feet times 4?
60 feet.
Times 6 seconds.
60. Okay, so 60 feet, running.
Yeah.
How many
Mhm.
rounds?
18.
It's about a minute and a half, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
108
Christ!
seconds.
You have a range
Closer
of there.
To 2 minutes.
I will.
That's your range.
I
at that speed.
will. I want to go to like. Is this a pathway that I can walk around the side here?
Yeah,
or-
there's a very narrow road. Probably could fit 2.5 people shoulder to shoulder before it kind of drops off into water.
I will get space before I go.
Oh.
See you in a
Have
bit.
fun.
I will
yeah.
walk. I will walk to the water's edge, dive in, turn into Leviathan, and just swim to the other side.
A lot of the sailors kind of like turn their heads as just snaky
Leviathan-
snakes
Yeah.
away.
You just yeah. Where's Leviathan's church? It's over there. Thanks, turns into Leviathan.
I was testing you, my children. Nah, just Leviathan. put myself,
Good
like
luck.
hoist myself, like
That-
snake up onto the thing, and then back to the.
That would totally be a Koke thing though. If I was testing you, my children, wibble, wibble, wibble.
Yes.
And
Look
as
look
they all
at
kind of look at each other, and they look back at you guys, and the party is like, never seen a summoner like that before.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Never will.
Yeah, you wibble your way over there.
I'll
Okay.
let everybody else. Everyone else is a bigger group, and I've kind of
Yeah,
grabbed
let me
attention
roll
enough. Everyone else can do
Control
it if they want. You can come back to me.
okay. Controlled
So-
by fucking everyone. That's broken. Why is that one broken?
I'll burp.
All right, so it's Hitomi's with me, Roderick, Echo.
Yep. Yeah, here,
Nell,
I
and
gotta.
Tiro.
Yeah, which okay. Nell.
Just say everybody, pretty much.
Jeez.
Everybody and then
Just make it party. Make it party.
Mhm.
Party, yeah, just make it party. That's fine. It's everybody but Chef and Koke. That's
Yeah,
pretty
Chef.
much- He's back on the
Damn.
boat. She's back on the boat.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. So everyone,
Just in case your
stay-
mean DM's got any surprises for you.
yeah. Stay in a circle around Hitomi and Roderick as we go down the street. And then I guess attempt to figure out where we're going.
You find a couple of guys that are doing like the kind of Venetian canal boats right here that seem to be sort of like taxis. Right now it's one of the only ways you can go forward because on your right here is cliff face up, probably 100 feet, 120 feet
Oh, okay.
up to buildings, and off to your left is water.
Oh, okay, so like we're right at the cliff here. That's where she
Mhm.
marked. Okay.
So yeah,
Alright.
with some doing and payment of like 2 gil, whoever wants to, they could bring you wherever you wanted to go. Where are you all headed off to? You kind of like looks over at Eleanor because she seems to be the in charge one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Eleanor, I'm a knight of
Hmm.
Lawland escorting Summoner Hitomi.
the new summoner. Okay. New summoner. You might want to check in with your church before heading on to the sanctuary. Which primal? Can she does like the hand waves.
Wibble, wibble. Yeah. Looks at Hitomi.
Ixion. Yeah, okay, one of the closer ones, sure. Kind of like looks over and there's like a few more of those little boats. Like, we're gonna take like 4 of us. We'll get you over there in a couple minutes. Boom. You all get loaded up across a few different canal boats, and
I'll pay him.
yeah, and it costs like 2. We'll call it 3 gold for the everyone. Y'all get in your little fleet of boats and wibble your way around the river. Things that you can see. You can probably see this big crescent-shaped building still. You can still see that tower thing. And from where you are now, coming around this bend, you can very clearly see a large, kind of stacked dome building with spires on the 4 corners of it.
Wow, that is huge.
Yeah, big building. It's the Sanctuary of Leistus. It's one of the older buildings.
This is our first time here. This is crazy.
First time. Well, it's a grand city. Wibble, wibble, wibble. Depends on who you believe, but oldest city in the world.
I may take a look around once I'm finished, but for now, my priority is get Hitomi safely to where she needs to be.
Noah may not be bouncing in her seat like, I gotta check all this stuff out.
Yeah, something else you guys you probably saw coming in, but can't see now because of the height change, is the large kind of like sprawling citadel building up on that cliff, with its own wall. Which you don't know, but it's a library. That whole thing's just a library. But yeah, you all disembark here in Ixion's Bolt. Down the road, on the right. Oops, sorry. On the right.
Okay.
Can't miss it. Do you want us to hang out here? There's walking paths to get to the sanctuary. Usually they'll end up having you go there first. Stick out. We'll stick around. Don't worry about it. You guys have fun. Enjoy your introductions.
Thank you very much.
Wave. You all disembark.
Let's see. So we stop off here first. All right.
Yeah, presumably. Oh god, Echo's with you.
Yeah, this bird.
I'm just like everyone glances back and watches the giant bird get out of basically her own boat. Like
That was the extra gill. That was what the extra gill was for.
mhm.
Talk about carriage.
Talking about carriage. Yeah. All right. So what are we looking at down here?
You see, 2 to 3 story buildings, stone, with some of them having kind of heavy spiking motif stuff, kind of like bolts of lightning, in like cast iron on some of the walls and in some of the artistry on some of the shops you walk by. You detect a general theme here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see a lot of imagery about Ixion and about all that. You guys just advancing on to the little chapel?
Yeah.
Yep.
You come around the
Anybody else do?
corner. There's a big old hefty chapeline building. A kind of interlocking ring of lightning around what looks like a horned head. Large main door, kind of big window, columns. Kind of like
Architecture in the city is just amazing.
I'd heard in books. I mean, it's a little, it's much, you know.
From where you and I are from, Princess, yeah. Anyway, summoners first.
I guess. And she pushes the door open and steps inside.
Just gonna flank her.
And the rest of you all walk in. Long central nave, columns on either side, big dome up above. You walk down. It's largely empty. Yeah, quee, 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 quee. This is the big echoing interior. You walk down the main corridor. Oh, poppy little pond. And eventually you come to a man who's sort of in a side desk thing, like off on one side of it. He kind of like looks over all of you, kind of like stops on Hitomi a little bit, looks at the rest of you. What can I say is the reason for your visit? Looks
Okay.
over at Ellen, looks over at Hitomi. Hitomi looks at Ellen.
Good day.
Good day.
We are from Lowland. Hitomi here has recently become a summoner.
Ah,
of
yep.
Ixion.
He kind of
We're
like
told to come here.
beckons. Hitomi walks over. Kind of like opens up his book, flip. Oh,
Okay.
hang on. Flip, goes all the way back, like 3 or 4 pages. There you are. You took your time getting here, didn't you?
You knew about it?
Of course we know about it. We know every time one of these packs gets made. Okay. So, there had to be a summoner then. Somewhat by mandate, but also by your own choice. Let's have you talk real quick with the headmaster here, and then we'll have you on your way to the sanctuary in no time. Just fill out a couple of forms, and kind of like takes her, pulls her off into a side room. Couple of moments pass. She comes back out. She's wearing now what looks like a long stole around the back of her neck and over the front. That is with a kind of a greenish yellow motif to it. You know, hanging over her robes. This is like, all right, that way? Yep, okay. And she kind of looks at everyone and kind of, come on, we're going this way now.
It certainly feels like signing up for a school, doesn't it?
From what I was picking up on in that room, yeah, it's a lot like that. Ugh.
Keep your spirits up.
Out to the road, whole party exits as you guys go on your clerical journey.
She's
It'll-
gonna walk over to Roderick. Why don't you walk a bit closer to her?
Oh yeah, I guess she seems a little nervous. He kind of like, it goes up, touch, poke, reaches a hand out towards her, handhold, sides, walking. You guys wandering? Heading over
Someone
there?
else is staying doing something.
I think Chef's just parked.
Mel, Tiro.
Yeah, no, yeah, critically.
I'm doing all the talking. You guys want to do anything?
I can go around the area, try to gather some information.
About what?
Just the city in general. Like what's going on. I'm a bard. That's what we do.
Yeah. Do you want to split off from the main group and go do that, or you want to just?
I'll probably flip back. You guys seem to got this covered, and it seems like a pretty secure building, so why not?
All right. As Nell splits off and starts chatting with the crowds, go ahead and make a knowledge gather information.
Let's see.
Excuse
I
me.
think I have it covered.
Okay. With 9 plus 22. Holy shit. You wander around and you pick up on quite a few little rumblings. The thing that most people are talking about is the schism. Which is something that your character may or may not have known about previously. Where recently there's been a bit of a split in the faith. Where some of the faithful believe that there's a new over-reliance on Magitech that's harming the primals, and some believe that that is not the case, that it is a complete coincidence, because in the city they've been becoming less faithful in general, and mostly because the gods haven't been responding very well anymore. Like even to the cries of their summoners, to the people of their faith, they're sometimes they're disoriented or they're confused. Oftentimes they don't, like, to the point where it feels less and less like these divine creatures that's giving humanity these great boons, and more like it's these bunch of just crazy wild beasts that are being shepherded by humanity.
Mm.
And like people have been feeling that split, especially here. And people are sensitive to that. And in the many years since that's been going down, the faith has been shrinking, and there's a lot of fear right now, and there's a lot of change happening. Yeah, no, it's you pick up on a lot of that sort of stuff. You learn about just passively talking to everybody. You learn kind of where all the different sections of the city are. For instance, basically all the information that you can see right now on the map, you gain. You
I'll
hear
put it on your
about
map.
you hear about the Citadel Library, for instance, and this gigantic, vast collection of books, largest library in the world. Books that date back thousands, literally thousands of years.
Where Nell's going.
I mean, I might drag along Tyro as well, considering ancient books he's been going on
Yeah.
about old
Yeah.
magic stuffs.
But yeah, you learn many things. You learn about the slums and about the struggles of that. Yeah. The party, presumably you guys advance on to the tip of Ixion's bolt and are taking it across to the Sanctuary of Lystus. All right.
Yep.
Okay. As you guys reach this kind of corner here, you do see there's this whole canal that bends around you. There's like all these crisscrossing roads off ahead of you, down the bridge you're crossing. Off to your right, you see the greenery. You see this beautiful kind of flower garden and kind of a big pentagon. You see off to your left and up, what kind of resembles an aqueduct running all the way from the back of the crescent that you guys saw coming in to the big domey building. Just all the way across the city.
I wonder what that's for.
And you guys show up to Sanctuary of Lystus. Just walk it in. It appears to be a public building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, Will.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest, I bring some knowledge, religion or otherwise, so it would be pointless for me to try and make a rule. So
There's so much knowledge religioning that could happen right now. But no, you guys, you walk into the Sanctuary of Lystus.
spellcraft.
Long,
And planes,
huge
actually.
room, big domed ceiling with lines of stained glass around the sides. And you see on the stained glass a series of images in almost a sequence. Presumably some sort of religious teaching tool. You see among them what looks like it's a depiction of this just army of darkness, or they're kind of lizard-like. It's a whole thing, marching, and then you see a small man, and you see little depictions of him going to all these different places, and then you see a huge army of humanoids, of these kind of armored humanoids, and you see the two of them meet, and mixed in with the humanoids are these giant primals, in the kind of forces. As you're kind of walking along, like you're taking it in like window by window as you walk. You see Titan smash into the ground and create this enormous wall, like interlocking wall of stone. You see Shiva freeze like a wide surface of ice to slow their advance. You see the young man from earlier, like he's drawn a little bit differently. You see the young man from earlier die, like be sliced in two in the conflict. And you see a woman there with him begin to cry, and you see this huge flood of water from her tears just drown the dark army thing. And the world is saved. Presumably, there's a large depiction of Bahamut just glowing radiantly in the sun.
Quick grab of her holy symbol.
Meanwhile, all 3 people who are not in the party who have knowledge of religion are just going, why?
I have
Oh, yeah.
knowledge of religion.
Yes, so do I. But neither of us are there.
I do too, but I don't want to drag this on. Will's already explaining a lot.
No, it is perfectly fine. You guys have just arrived in the city. There's a lot to explain. If you want to, you can make a knowledge religion to see what this is depicting.
Yeah, really.
Please let me tell the story.
To recognize it.
He constructed all this. Let him.
All right.
That's not what I'm
So-
saying.
All right. Let's see if she remembers anything.
16. It's a pretty common story. You know that the man that you see depicted dying is Saint Leistus of the faith. You know that this depicts this sort of, how much of it's true is, kind of up to the wind here, but it's a depiction of at the beginning of the world when all the dark things rose and were fought off by current humanity and with the aid of the primals, and it was a whole ordeal. It would have been sometime. Let me double check this. It would have been sometime at the end of the first era, and this is presumably the conflict that marked the transition into the second era. You know that it's taught typically as a message about the strength of humanity, and and the things that people can accomplish as a whole.
All right. She'd be rallying that off to the party while we're walking.
And of course, that's echoing all through the halls because of how vast this structure is.
Yeah.
As you kind of reach the front and Hitomi's there with you, the man kind of stops and, I see you two are among the faithful.
Wait.
Go on.
He was looking at Eleanor, like hearing her explain
I thought he
it.
was talking to. Okay. It's like, oh yes, sir.
And I see that at long last, our young little Hitomi of Ixion is here. Well, come with me then. Your trial awaits you. And kind of like holds his hand out, and she kind of follows him a little and like glances back just nervously at everybody, and
Wait.
walks off with her, and she disappears into a door in the back of the sanctuary.
I wonder what he meant by trial.
If I can...
Just doors.
Taro just kind of closes his eyes, kind of folds his arm a little bit. If I had to guess, it would probably be to test her ability to summon Ixion, her aptitude as a summoner in general.
Probably, but
I didn't realize Tyro was with us.
yeah, Tyrone
Yeah.
over here.
Well, Nell's out.
Nell's
Nell's
not.
out gathering.
Nell walked off. So yeah,
Nell will
it's just
probably
us.
be heading, I'm
Yeah.
assuming, to the sanctuary after gathering information, but probably not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's me, Echo, and T-Row. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is why the list was important.
Yeah.
and
What?
and Vise and Roderick and Hitomi
Vise
and
Roderick,
Yeah. The problem is probably any extra knowledge that I can glean from these trials would probably be freaking knowledge religion, which I don't have.
mm-hmm. You could those with knowledge religion could make knowledge religion as to what she's doing right now.
I'm not there.
I'm not there.
Let me
So,
rack. I guess
That's
I'm
up
rack.
to
I mean,
Eleanor.
can I think on my
Sorry.
trip to the past where I currently exist?
Oh, I guess I'm gonna have her rack her memory again. Maybe ask some people around the room if there's
I
anybody
mean, if
else in
she's
here.
still missing by the time I arrive, I can do a roll, but
Yeah, I'm not even there, so my 12 can't help you.
Yeah, that's all right.
Plus 12.
Nope.
You know that learning how to be a summoner is pretty hard work. You don't know anything more than that. Like, you know, there's a whole ordeal, but not what the ordeal is.
All right.
And you
Well, I
guys parking there?
I
Or
guess
are you
we
guys
just wait
wandering?
now.
All right.
Well,
They
I could try rolling diplomacy to see what I can find out from anyone in there.
you
I
could
don't think they're gonna.
you could wander around and whisper to the occasional person in the pews who's just praying. Hey, what do summoners do in there?
I don't know if they're gonna answer though.
No.
Probably
Echo,
not.
in the meantime,
Probably not. You know, I'll
she's
refrain from that.
gonna.
I'll refrain from that, but I kind of like visual in my head, like, no, I don't want to just do
It's
it.
like that feels awkward. I'll just But yeah, at this
Still-
point, at some point following all this, Nell's gathering will be done, and she'd be rejoining them. In the meantime,
Echo
Hmm?
Echo wants to run back to the ship.
okay.
You're gonna run
And
all the way back to the ship.
Yes, I'm
The-
gonna run all the way back to the
you
ship.
guys drop off Vise.
Actually, before
Do you guys drop off Hitomi?
I'm gonna say I want to go back to the ship. I'm gonna go back to the ship.
before
By
before
yourself.
Echo heads off, is there a way for Echo to get back to the ship without having to take one of the little ferries back down the canal?
She could
Take
swim.
the bridges.
I could run
I-
along the side, couldn't? Where is the ship? Like in relation to where
You
you're in
guys-
the water.
You're over here. The ship is over here. The path around, the kind of road around the edge, stops here.
And you could technically go through.
And then jump down. Like, just fucking fall 120 feet and just chocobo glide your way onto the ship. You could. And take the path up through Titan's Fist.
Looks like you're stuck with the
Yeah.
party for now.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, there was the boat.
Alternately,
Yeah.
someone could put a gill in your beak and you could go back to them because you know they're waiting for you back
That's
at Ixion's
actually what I
vault.
was contemplating doing.
Oh. Okay.
Cool.
I'll grab a gill out of my pouch and
Alright.
like, here, Echo. If you want to head back to the ship, give this man on the boat this, and
Gil.
kind of, hand him this gill, and kind of point in the direction that you want to go. Like he can't. That's the only other way that I can figure out how to do this. So,
Mhm.
so I hand over the gill.
And bird armed with gill goes running back to the boats.
All right. I'm gonna have Ellie plant herself in front of the Bahamut depiction and pray for a while.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do there, Tyra?
Unless I can find out anything like magic related, I'm probably not gonna. find
Yeah,
out much.
as the wizard party looks at Religion City, it's like, wow, this is so pretty. There's nothing to do here. Nope, leaving.
Yourselves. Yourselves, I've got a lot to do.
I just
Just for
appreciate
the-
the dichotomy of when you guys first hit Moonbright, and every single person immediately split in different directions to go do something. And this
Oh,
time
look
it's
at
like everyone's just in a big ball, just wandering from place to place. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Nah.
Like, I mean, the most I'm probably gonna get out is the library, really, but at most I would probably just give me like some extra EXP or something like that for studying or something like that.
You and Nell can hit the library later, maybe.
Most likely, I mean, depending upon how long we're gonna be here, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
But yeah, Echo, you return to the boats. You find one of the men. Oh, you sees the gill, reaches out, takes it. You heading back, and he kind of like points in the direction that the airship is in.
Nod. Quack.
Oh, okay. Smart bird. And he board you board the boat, and he fast travels you over there. Whip 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 whip. Meanwhile, while this is going on, just to get ourselves chronologically caught back up, what's Koke up to?
I'm
As-
looking to find an entrance as I pull myself onto the thing and like
You pop up.
Leviathanify.
You pop yourself up onto the pathway along the edge. You find an entrance on the exterior surface that you're on right now. It doesn't look like a main entrance, but like it's a way in.
Go in.
Okay, you walk in. For a minute, you're in what like kind of looks like a back storage room, and then like you go through another door, and then like here we go. Now you're in the main structure. It looks like this building was a chain of buildings that have all had all the walls blown out between them, and have built this kind of weirdly long, winding church that goes all the way around a corner.
Yeah, Steppen, I get it. It's thematic. I'm looking for
As
whoever's wearing the biggest
Koke
hat.
sasses the architecture around her, like.
I'm looking for the person who looks the most important, the biggest hat, you know.
Okay.
I am the priest.
You look around, you see like a hat. It's like, it's kind of a medium-sized hat. It's kind of a small hat. You see somebody that has kind of like a cardinal's hat almost, with the long almond thing poking out of the top of his head.
That's probably the guy in charge.
And you beeline for him. He turns to you. Our next service doesn't start for another 3 hours. You're free to
Are you
praise.
Are you? I guess the word is in charge here.
I'm the headmaster of this Church of Leviathan.
Headmaster. That's an interesting. Seems like
That is.
I have a few questions, if you would indulge me.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of nods and.
I was in Moonbright recently.
Ah, beautiful town.
I saw what happened.
Ah.
In fact, there was a bit more than just seeing what happened. I turned into Leviathan.
Up front. Okay.
Let's go ahead and make a fucking. Oh, hey now.
Nice.
Hey now.
I'm trying to keep myself not super scary because I'm huge. I'm a large snake. Kind of like in a. This is more of a. I'm showing him rather than I'm showing off to him.
Yeah.
And kind of like he walks up to you and he kind of like touches you and kind of runs his hand down you. You're a blue mage, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Or a morpher. Kind of like reaches up and like kind of grazes the bottom of your jaw and like kind of runs it all along your body. It's a beautiful form you've picked up. It's a shame about Leviathan, of course.
That's not the only thing. I'll turn back.
Woman to snake to woman again.
I take the Leviathan statue I got from the depths out of my backpack.
That's a beautiful carving. And he reaches out and he kind of grabs it. Where did you find such a... This looks old. Looks really old. You know, he turns it over in his hands. Turns it over in his hands again.
So that I get it right as the human here, it was the Shattered.
It was the Shatterguard, yeah.
Okay. There was a dig site on the island. I went with some companions down, and we found a temple dedicated to the primals.
Oh.
This was on an altar meant to sacrifice a summoner.
An altar to sacrifice? To sacrifice a summoner? What's it doing here then? Looks back at it.
I took it from the temple.
That's kind of what I expected. Oh.
I asked it if coming here would give me answers. It responded with yes.
You asked it?
The statue, yes.
You spoke to the... And... So, Leviathan died when you were leaving, then?
No, Leviathan died when we were arriving.
You spoke to the statue after Leviathan died.
Yes. Although I think it might have something to do with the type of blue mage I am. I don't copy a creature's essence, I assimilate it. For all intents and purposes, I am Leviathan.
He kind of reaches over on his shelf and like he pulls out another book and starts like flipping through it.
You basically just told this priest, "Hey, I just ate your god."
He kind of like points at something, he points at something else. Wait. Are you a primal blue mage or are you a morpher blue mage?
I'm both.
Closes the book, puts it back on the shelf. That is kind of strange. Ugh.
I am what I eat.
Yeah, that's at least a little unsettling. Oh.
To
Like-
clarify, I was not the cause of death.
I'm,
Leviathan. I was merely an opportunist at the right time.
I'm counting on that. Otherwise, I'm hoping you wouldn't be here. And besides, with my sense motive check, I know you couldn't have killed him on your own.
No.
Then why are you here then? Just to hand this off, or you're here for your answers?
For answers,
To what questions?
the temple was guarded by a very ancient being,
Ancient
himself.
beings,
the judge.
the judge. My God.
Yeah.
He walks over. Moonbright, you said. And you kind of
Yes.
like. Hmm.
I believe I heard some of them, my companions were talking about the Shatterguard.
The Shadow God. Oh, hang on. And he walks over to another shelf and pulls another book. Nope. Walks over, pulls another shelf. Nope. Walks over, pulls another book. Just like goes down the whole thing until he's got a whole stack behind him. Shadow God. I know I've seen that name somewhere before. I know I have.
Part
Why?
of it
Hmm?
is also, while down there, I agreed to something. I still feel like I should I should go through with it, but I'm not a summoner yet. And I need to be.
Ah. Well, alright. That's a strange thought. I mean, traditionally speaking, this would start, you would discover a shrine to Leviathan or something. You'd be in some sort of situation. They would feel the need to invest power in you, and you would make a pact with them. And with that deal, you would come here and we would train you. This is different. But you're saying you spoke to Leviathan and that Leviathan told you to come here?
I spent some time down in the sacrificial chamber, and I asked if coming here would give me answers, if I should become a summoner. I was told yes.
Well, okay. That's not something I can argue with then. Huh.
How has it been here since?
It's been hard. This is over the last, half a month now, the last, 2 or 3 weeks. We haven't been able to talk to Leviathan. None of us. And he kind of like gestures back into the room, and you see like a few people like kind of praying. So it's been harder. I don't know where all this goes.
If what I've been told is right, in that temple, under Moonbright, the summoner sacrifices themselves. They replace/rejuvenate what was once lost.
Whoa, hang on. Like he takes a step towards you and like kind of grabs your shoulder. Sacrifices themselves. Replaces/rejuvenates what was lost, you said.
As far as what I was told by that ancient being, and I agreed to it. So,
How old was this temple? Do you remember?
How old was the temple? Do I remember?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
We never got a date, I don't think.
Just
I think
general?
you Dicey's mentioned it offhand at one point how old it was.
Do I get any bonus to this? Just my int.
You don't remember. You don't quite remember. You know it was old. You know it was probably in thousands, but you don't know how old.
It had to be thousands of years old. It was
Come with me for a second. And he leads you.
I'm going.
he leads you off the edge and out to like kind of just out basically the door you came in, and kind of walked over to the railing. You hear like all the birds and stuff out here, and he points across at the building over here. You see that structure? That tall, crazy thing? That's the crescent of Ainamana. Do you know the story of Ainamana?
Do I know the story?
Make a knowledge religion check.
Oh yeah, I'm good at this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you actually do know that story.
What is it?
Here we go. It is the story of a great deception, and it is conversely to the story that Eleanor just saw in the Sanctuary of Lystus. It's a story about how humanity can fail. There was a traitor. There was a traitor in the faith. There was a white mage that it said climbed to Valifor's palace in the sun and slew him one night as he slept. It's kind of implied that this man was going to steal that power from him. While his back was turned, though, there was a young priest of the faith of who is now Saint Ainamana, who is said to have fused with him, losing all that she was to heal him. And rejuvenated with a great blast of his wings, Valifor cast the man out the doors of the palace and sent him flying into the sun.
Oh.
And that is the person in question that building is erected to. What you were describing reminds me a whole lot of what happened in there. I mean, it's all.
I think
it's
about
all.
The similarities are indeed uncanny.
I mean, it's allegory. It's part of the teaching, but I've never heard someone talk about finding something that is that. You should take to the library. On the opposite side of town, head out through Ixion's Bolt, up the stair into the upper level. You'll find the Citadel Library. Tell them Emon sent you, and they should let you in, and start looking for this.
Okay. About the sacrificial altar?
So kind of, yeah. About
Okay.
what you found here. This Shatterguard, this name I just can't place.
I'm gonna reflect inward a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like this man is the Leviathan priest.
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting anything?
Any like feeling of power or something from him?
Not necessarily not from him, but internally. Like, I'm still trying to work out how much of Leviathan is left.
You where you stand right now in the building you stand in, the man you're talking to, it feels like you're standing in any other building talking to any other man.
Hmm. All right. I'll go and see what I can find out. I still very much desire to do what I can.
We all do what we can. We're still here praying. He's not responding, but we're still here praying. Someday.
You can keep hold of the statue for now. I think it may be very important to what's involved
I
down
should
there, but
perhaps,
it's
yeah.
up to me. Maybe it can respond to you as well. It could have just been the location I was at, given the connection.
I can try. Thank you. But yes, thank you for this information. You've been enlightening, I should say. And utterly unique. If you do wish to be trained as a summoner, I can file the paperwork. Because, and he holds up the statue and like waves it. With presumably Leviathan's blessing, you should have no problem taking the trials and being trained.
Would what I am be considered?
He kind of
it
like
was enough.
looks at you and
It
kind of
was-
leans and shrugs, and it's like, this is perhaps a little bit of a new. Usually people don't get a bite of gods.
Yeah. Usually not.
They're
Not
kind of
often.
hard thing to just wander into eating. So yeah, I'll go wander.
I mean-
I'll file this.
I mean, I don't know exactly the mechanics of in dire need, I have been able to summon Leviathan.
That is true. I mean, he does. That's not him saying. That's me saying that. But that's also him saying that. That is true.
I mean, if you want to stab me into dire straits, I can do it right now.
I'll pass
it would
for
not be
now.
It would not be the first time I have spilled blood.
That may come up though.
Perhaps unnecessarily.
Yeah, but your choice. You can head over to the sanctuary. I'll have this in by the time you get there. You can head up to the library. Do what you will. Sorry, I can't be any more help.
You've been more help than I was honestly expecting. I was partially expecting to be arrested upon arrival, to be honest with you.
Arrested for what?
I mean, I basically just confessed to taking a bite out of your god.
That's fine. Everybody would if they could.
Same.
You get the impression this is a weirdly casual sort of priest man, this headmaster
He's
Amon.
cool, I like him a lot.
Like
I can. I probably have. I arrived with a someone who was arriving from pilgrimage.
That's fun.
I'm going to assume the sanctuary is where summoners go.
Yes, it's where we hold the trials. Usually, a summoner comes.
Am I going
confirm
there
that
for a
they're.
trial? Or
Yeah, I should
Can I
say
make a
so.
step?
Yes.
I'll go do that. Then I can meet up with the party that I arrived with. I can.
Okay, that's all up to you. I'll double on these papers then. Hang on, give me a second. And he runs back inside real quick, and he jots some stuff and comes back out, and he hands you an envelope with a wax stamp on it. Just give this to them.
I will do so. Is there a way around, or do I have to go? And I just point out to the water, back the way I came.
No, you
'cause I
can-
swam over.
And he points back towards where the crescent is. You can travel along the coast, head back into the city. You can take it either through the crescent into Mercy Plaza. You can loop around, take the pass up from Ixion's Bolt. There's plenty of ways to get there.
Might meet my companions at Ixion's ball. That's where they were heading.
I'd go to the river. I'd follow it. If you literally can't miss it. It's one of the biggest buildings in the city.
Bigger than that one? Points to the crescent.
I'm maybe not a hair as tall, but more square footage. Seriously, like, it's a whole thing.
I probably won't miss it. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, you didn't get lost this far, so yeah.
Well, I point over to the airship in the water. That's my ship. I swam over.
It's a strange boat. Why does it have those big glass eyes on it?
It flies.
Why would that be why it has eyes on it?
I have no idea. It's not. It's a very old ship. I found it in a mountain.
I'm detecting a trend of that with you.
I've had a very interesting few last month.
Yeah. Well, have fun with your trial. I'll be here if you need me. And he kind of tips his big almond hat to you and heads back inside.
And I head off to meet up.
Alright. By this point, Nell, you'd be working your way around and on your way back into the sanctuary, presumably, right?
Right.
All right. Koke, you're going that way too. At some point, somewhere around the tip of Ixion's Bolt, right where you'd see the two of you bump into each other. Like,
You're not with the rest of the group?
Nell, like you poke someone. It's like, hey, can I ask you about turns? It's Koke.
Well,
How did you miss that it was me? I'm literally 4 foot tall with.
I don't know. God didn't make me do a perception check.
You just so naturally dismissive of me.
Well, I mean, you are a foot and a half
Naturally
shorter than her, so I mean,
Thanks, Tiro, from all the way over there.
I mean, with my
Oh,
perception,
those are they
I could
are.
probably hear
Why are you not with the rest of the group? Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. They were getting Hitomi signed in at the Temple of Ixion. They said they were heading towards the sanctuary. I just decided to poke around town and get information since none of us have been here before.
You are going to be exceptionally grateful for me because I've got us access to the library.
I didn't know you had to get permission. Did I hear anything about needing permission when I was gathering information?
You did hear, like, you know that there's a library that people can publicly go and like and take books out in, but that it's kind of like the lobby, of a building versus the rest of it. Like you can't actually get into the stacks, like the actual proper like towering column of books deep inside the building, but you can like hang out in sort of a reading area and like request books be brought to you, and if like they're not too old or not like top shelf old books, they'll get books for you.
Huh. Well,
Presumably
that's nice.
this permission will actually let you browse, which most people don't get to.
Also,
I will need your help, though.
With?
The reason I got the permission is because I spoke to Iman. Is that his name?
Yep.
He's presumably, he's the headmaster of Leviathan's temple. I told him about what happened at Moonbright. I showed him me, and he's given us this permission to look for more information about the Shatterguard.
Sort of surprised they didn't throw you out. Wow, these primal priests are really laid back. Anyways.
I mean, I think I basically just said, hey, I know your god's dead, but I'm bringing him back. So...
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Sure, I was going to dig some information in there, and I'm sure Tyra would absolutely love to tackle the books in there, and who knows, maybe there'll be some magic books in there for Eleanor. There's a hell of a lot of reasons to go there.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of reasons to go there, and I'm very grateful as to the deep web of this information that we're going to have to go and read about. But you said everyone's heading to Sanctuary?
Pretty sure they were heading there.
Yeah, I need to go there too. I'm taking us somewhere.
Huh.
Right.
Also, you are cutting out there a little bit.
Oh, let me.
Was it cutting out for anyone else, or?
I heard we're going
A
to take a
little bit.
summoner and then something, and I'm assuming you were saying trial.
Yeah, I'm taking us on a trial. Surprise! Jazz hands a little bit.
I would ask how, but considering I'm learning some magic myself,
I'm literally Leviathan. For a minute and a half a day, I'm a god. So I think it's only right that I become a summoner. Besides, the ritual requires a summoner soul. And I'm heading over there. If you want to join me, so be it.
heading there anyway, so guess we'll go.
All right, and so they go. Boop, 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 boop.
By the way, the bow that you've got, the one from Lillian's Vault, it creates its own arrows, right?
Right.
Yeah. And do you plan on keeping it? Or is this only until this is over sort of thing?
If I'm allowed to keep it, I will. Why do you ask?
I've been putting together an idea for it's a gift for Beast actually. It's like a interdimensional quiver that can multiply arrows.
I actually, and I'm assuming I know this considering I did like knowledge on the bow when I first got it. This bow actually can't use any type of arrows except what it shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just gonna. I mean, maybe I could have made a second one, you know. But it's also something I can keep in mind. Gotta make peace somehow. And I give her a bit of a smile.
Awkward
And
shuffle.
kind of keep working forward.
That's a little odd, and I can see you heading towards Sanctuary as
Yeah.
well.
You all walk in. You see the same lines of stained glass windows from before. Yeah, the same.
Knowledge religion.
Knowledge religion. Sure. 19. This is one of the more common stories in particular. You know that this was presumably at the close of the first era. The big great last battle between good and evil kind of thing.
Just because I'm paranoid as all hell, are these forces of darkness lizard men like a particular kind, or just generic forces of darkness lizard men?
The way that they're illustrated in the stained glass is super vague, just by the nature of stained glass windows. You see a lot of like upper bodies and like long heads, and like crawling, like the top halves of like the top halves of creatures pulling out of paint, you know, kind of darkness lizard things like.
Why does one of them look like Zezin?
You just see one of them looking to the camera.
Okay, just making sure, because like I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, Titan makes a big wall, like protection thing, and like my people are lizardy and kind of in mountain range, like, just so I know that I'm not a force of darkness, which I am, but just making sure.
That'd
be very funny.
That would be something to look for books about in the library.
Yeah. By the way, the aura are evil. Yeah, knew it. I'm gonna find whoever I need to find.
You see at the end of this long structure, like all the way on the opposite side of this kind of domed aisle, you see Eleanor there, just arms crossed, waiting by kind of a grand door at the back.
Where's Feast?
She's there, waiting with him.
Wave.
She waves back. Hi, Koke. Shh. She get the ears go down.
And she'd look over.
Wave, wave, wave. I mean, you guys could be at most like 1,000 feet apart still.
I'm gonna have to spring in my step and kind of
Pep, 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 pep,
How do we
all
go?
the way across the structure. You come up to them, and the party is all in one place, with the exception of Echo and Chef.
So, how's it going? Where's Hitomi? Trials, I'm guessing.
Yeah. How do you know?
Huh?
How did you know that she had to take a trial?
Oh, pulls out envelope from my interdimensional RPG character space.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
What's
take
that?
one too.
Oh. They
Yeah.
they seriously let you after. Oh, forget it.
Grumpy dog.
No. What?
Yeah, they're really lenient here, apparently.
Oh, for the love of...
She'd rub her ears. Just. I don't know. It's. After everything you've done, it just doesn't feel correct to me, but.
After
don't-
everything I've done, being probably being the last bastion of Leviathan's power, accepted to sacrifice myself to bring him back, and then I just like flick the envelope, making good on that promise.
I had no clue what you were accepting when you went down there, so throwing that out there doesn't really help matters.
I know I didn't know what I was accepting, but
I'm not accusing you of anything, okay? Just doesn't feel like something you should have gotten involved in.
I probably shouldn't have got involved in any of this. But I'm glad I did. And I'm just gonna start to walk away, stop, just shake my head and find who I need to give the envelope to.
There's a fairly tall man with another almond hat that's even bigger than the previous almond hat.
Oh, you got the biggest of the hats I've seen so far today, good sir.
I should say so. What brings you here into our fine sanctuary?
I put the envelope, is there a table? Is there anything between us, or is he just standing there?
He's just standing there.
I hand him the envelope.
He takes the envelope.
Into his chest. Here.
Leviathan?
Slap.
We don't have anything. He kind of like breaks the seal, pulls the letter out. Found Blue Mage.
Surprise.
I wrote this letter in 5 minutes.
Surprise, I'm here to change the foundation of everything. How you doing?
Headmaster Amon. Looks at the letter, looks back at you. He's a loose cannon, but fine. He closes it, and stuffs it in his jacket.
I give him a thumbs up.
As like just smiling Koke with thumbs is like this man just like looks all judgingly down at her. Very well then. We will have you.
They sent me a horned Cabbage Patch Kid to become a summoner.
The guy's probably just thinking, God almighty, fucking Emon sends me another whack job. Thanks.
So,
Okay.
what now?
Wait here for a moment. Your looks over at the party. Presumably your companion will be out in a few moments, and then we will retool it for you.
Excellent.
And as
Is my life in danger?
I can't say.
Well, now.
Great. Another! I can't tell you. No, you may not know.
You
We're
do
so
not
much
have
greater than you.
permission.
God damn it, I'm gonna dismantle that golem when we go back down there.
Do not ascend. Oh, the web of despair awaits.
Oh my god.
Anybody
but
who doesn't know that reference, it's from Divinity Original Sin 2.
Which we haven't played in like a
month.
week now, like 2 weeks
Feels
now,
like-
like.
Over a week.
But yeah.
I will then go and stand with the group next to
Okay.
Vias, holding her hand, just kind of like, wow, I get to wait now.
A couple of minutes
This is
go
gonna be
by.
fun.
The doors creak back open again. Hitomi comes marching back out. Whew. Okay. She kind of like wanders over to the party.
Princess, are you alright?
I'm perfectly fine. I guess I'm gonna be a summoner.
Oh, excellent.
You weren't before? I thought you
Well,
were.
it's a whole thing. It's kind of
Fun.
up to them.
You're not hurt, are you? Just
No,
was looking over.
I'm fine. Then real quick, let me check something. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
We don't have our healbot bird. I can. If it'll help alleviate any worries, Eleanor, I can cast Cure on her.
I can also do my
Oh,
healing
there.
jazz hands, so we're good. We're good.
Okay, fair enough.
It's weak as
There
shit,
it
but it's
is.
something.
Oh goddamn! Where did I put it? There it is. There we go. Okay. No, I'm fine. She kind of like holds up a hand.
Okay.
I'm guessing you're not allowed to talk about it.
Shake said no.
Fair enough.
Which Eleanor, would you like to make a perception check?
Alright. Hang on.
Eh,
She's too worried.
okay. She seems fine. She's still alive. Thank God.
I would, just out of concern, she takes her hand in both of hers, and you get a lay on hands, just for the warmth.
And she's brought back to full. No matter what it is, really, like. Yeah, she's brought back to full.
Also, if she happened to be silenced, that's gone.
Oh God, I've been silenced this whole time.
Isn't
My-
hear me in your brain?
My true power's unlocked.
Can't wait to find out what's gonna happen.
Has the power to unmute people. Okay. Okay.
All right, and over the doors kind of loosen back to ajar, and over the next few minutes, you see the man wander down there. You hear kind of echoing talking coming back up. Oh, and eventually he returns. In the meantime, what's Echo up to?
Bird.
I don't think he's conscious anymore.
I'm here.
Oh,
Okay.
there you are.
Hey.
Hooray!
What's Echo up to? By now you're back to the boat. Chef is there, but very busy training.
I want to make sure who's that guy is.
Okay.
Oops.
You find him asleep, kind of face down on the floor and over in a corner.
I'm gonna approach him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lift him up by the. Can I lift him up by anything? Like,
He's got a belt on. You can get him by the belt.
or can I at least roll him over? I think I would make.
Are we still live?
We are still live.
Yes, yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Look back.
Yeah. I want to roll him over.
Okay. You roll him over. Oh, hey. Quee yourself.
Who's this, Ben?
No, this is the assassin. The last
Oh,
living
the
assassin.
dude. The
Oh,
dude. Okay.
hey, I'm actually seeing relevant, sort of. I'm right here.
No, yeah,
Hello.
no. The... Did you need something?
Quiet.
I don't understand. And he kind of like leans up, and he's still his hands are still bound and everything. Like
Quick recap. Who is back here? Is it just
Echo. Just Echo. Everyone else wandered around the city. They've all kind of rejoined over at the Sanctuary of Lystus, and Echo has gone back to
Echo just
for
had a feeling
reasons.
that he'd come back.
I put a gill in his beak and wished him the best of luck.
Be free, young bird. Be free.
Yeah, it
So,
worked oddly enough.
She's gonna get comfy in the room next to the.
Like just
Alright.
snuggle up next to him?
Maybe not snuggle.
Eleanor
but,
has
you know,
competition with the
if-
assassin.
But if he wanted to like, lean on her, she wouldn't like push him away.
I don't think people that are under arrest have a tendency to snuggle up with the big birds. Like
That's what I'm saying. That's like
this
she's
isn't
not
this isn't
snuggling.
this isn't the penitentiary episode of Sesame Street.
No, she's not snuggling. But it's just like if you were to like.
Today,
I mean, he's not gonna.
we're gonna learn about state-sponsored prison system. Here.
This episode is brought to you by the letter B for the penal.
Anyway, Chef is just sitting here watching this.
Wait,
Mhm.
you're
So
It's
yeah.
been like, yeah, she's been there like half training, half watching. Like,
At some point, Echo, while you're sitting there poking in on this guy, Chef peeks in the little door in the hold where near where she was training. It's like, oh, bird's back.
It's like,
shrug.
hi, chef person.
My
Translate.
shrug does not change.
The
Just
man
quiet.
on the ground kind of like crawls a little bit away and behind Echo. Don't. It's all the same. I'm just here. I'm not doing anything. Just minding my own business.
Click. Creepy door shut.
Guys, he's having PTSD seeing what happened to his boss.
Yeah.
Ash, I think I beat you to the intimidating presence aura.
It's okay, don't worry.
No matter how hard you work, Trig,
The
not
man,
gonna
the
understand.
man looks back at you. Yep. Hey there. Yep. Quit yourself. Pokes you in the face, like with his hands bound together, just like pet.
It'd be funny if he hit his head hard enough where he could just suddenly understand Chocobo.
Okay.
You hanging out there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out.
Okay. And you post up there. After a few minutes, the man comes back out of the deep door in the sanctuary. They're ready for you. He's looking over at
Excellent.
Kokai.
Well, wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
Hitomi's
I
just,
guess.
good luck.
And I go to take my trial.
Just a moment. So, what are you gonna do now, Hitomi?
From what I understand, I've got to be here for like at least a month before I even have a chance of testing out to be able to wander freely.
And what's that entail?
Well,
Where are you gonna be staying? Will you have guards? Are you gonna be
I'm
fed? Do you need to keep paying money?
likely I'm gonna be staying
Are you gonna have an entourage when you leave the city?
in the Temple of Ixion. Calm down.
Take a deep breath, Eleanor.
I mean, it's free to be fair for me to stay here. I'm gonna be about as well guarded as anyone else in the clergy there, which is to say, not great. Oh, excuse me. I mean, we'll see how this all goes. It's a lot of attending service. It's a lot of learning the practical theory about all this. Like double checking my sheet here. Yeah, I literally don't have any points in knowledge religion. Fixing that stuff.
Okay.
There's a
I don't.
there's a
I don't
lot
wanna
to
just-
this, and I feel like I'm kind of only skimming the surface here, and I mean, it's kind of their thing, you know?
Yeah. I know this is something you have to do, but your father asked me to look after you. I don't want to leave you here now.
I
I
mean,
know you have Roderick.
I'll
with them,
likely be fine if you want. You can stay here for a while.
Verb again.
Um, back in Moonbright, I was told I could study a bit of magic here. I might do that. And stay with you until you feel comfortable.
Well, if you're fine doing it, then I'd be happy to have you around.
She'd look at Nell and Tiro. Is that okay with you guys?
I certainly have no problems with it.
I mean, it's not like you signed a contract or anything with us.
I know, but you guys were gonna go investigate the lead that we picked up from that assassin. I want to stay with Hitomi, but I just want you guys to be safe too.
Well, I mean, we got along fine without you. I'm not gonna lie. You make if I could speak today, sorry guys. You're a good team member. I'm basically trying to think of a polite way to say thank you for being our meat shield.
Would you like some advice on how to talk to people, bud?
I'm trying to have some tact because I actually have some charisma, woman.
I mean,
I'm getting by just fine without.
if Nell,
That only
if
lasts
Nell,
for so long.
Nell isn't the typical bard. Otherwise, she would have gone like the locking the hands down by the lap, and you're so big and strong, and your knightly stamina is flutter, 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 admirable.
No.
Love it.
If
So,
Titus can't be a
Titus-
guardian, at least I want him to be close.
Flutter, flutter, flutter. Seriously though, give Mox some slack. Not a typical bard trying to break the mold.
I know. I'm just. It's playful sass. I gotta. I'm not even there. I'm off doing
I'm not even there. As you all glance around, and this voice is coming from just an outline of Koke blinking as everyone notices she's not even there right now.
I kind of I materialize the scepter of the pious. I'm like, to be honest though, we are still technically on a job since we were granted these weapons on the premise that we would be seeing Hitomi safely here, and I would also assume bringing her back safely as well.
Yeah, all right.
It's almost like we have a month of bounties to be able to go do.
Well, you
Well,
know what
this
they
so I
say.
can use a gill.
Well, you know what they say. Being the party's meat shield is a tankless job.
God damn.
Get
It-
out.
Oh my god.
The sad part is that's actually the name of a fucking achievement.
Yeah,
Well, both parts actually are.
this is Elle was benched on the couch for a moment there.
Oh, let's see. What were the ones? A see,
Tankless
tank-
job. You get the title of the meat shield.
That's kind
But-
of cute.
But yeah, Nell's
someone's
gonna
got.
look.
I think no, someone's got to tank it, and thank you very much were the other two.
Someone's got to do it, and thank you very much. Yes. But no, Nell's gonna look very, very uneasy about having to like sit in a place for like a month. But library sort of helps. So, we are on a time schedule to do the whole 90 days. But if we're gonna be here for a month, and I hate leaving that job at East Haven done. We probably should stay here though.
That's up to you, but you really should take care of that as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, we have an airship. We could probably. It took what, like 2 days to get here? Maybe it'll only take.
It took us 2 days to get here. Like, we could just come back.
We can be back in less than a week, depending on how long it would take me saving.
Problem is though, the amount of fuel that we probably have. I don't know how far we can get with the current fuel that we have.
We can ask Cookie. Simple as that.
Da-da-da-da-da. Oh my fucking god.
Plus, there'll be time to kill here. Apparently, there's a giant library. Apparently, the largest one in the world. Has tons of information. Lots of. Let's see. Let me open up my notes. Has some ancient books in there. Tyra, weren't you trying to find some information on some ancient magic, or I can't remember exactly what you were looking for?
For the most part, Professor Dices gave me a pretty good chunk of what I was looking for. And now that I think about it, I should probably write back home to let my father know what I've found so far. I'm sure he'll be very interested to find out.
Well, there's bound to be a postal deliverer somewhere in the city, and if you want to check out more stuff, you can join me in the library. I'm definitely gonna check
Yeah.
that out.
Probably wouldn't hurt to see if there's anything similar to the hunt office in Lowland around here. Wouldn't hurt to earn some extra gil while we wait for things for Hitomi to be done her training.
Right, that's a thing.
By the way, which room are you guys holding prisoner man in?
That's
This
good
one of the
question.
bedrooms.
Probably. I mean, actually, what about the? No, probably not the containment hold with the speeder.
What about the room where they originally holding Yoda?
No, he would be in the room next to where the kitchen sort of is.
Okay.
In
You
that-
want to tuck
that
him away in the?
room.
Well, do you want to tuck him away in the bedroom, or do you want to tuck him away in the cannon fire room?
No, I don't want to put a prisoner in the room without edge cannon. He's in the back of the ship.
Okay. Yeah.
Besides, the edge cannon is Chef's room.
Yeah. No, like unless you were napping with him the whole time. All right.
I'm gonna burp while we go into the cookie segment.
Let me take a look at our time count here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. The way is open to you, and Koke, you descend.
What's the leg?
You've got a long stairway down, probably a floor, light torches on either side.
I want to specifically keep my eye out for similar architecture to the Shadow God Temple,
Drop
just
some stuff.
as a point.
Okay. Go ahead and well, I don't know what check that would be.
Perception.
I've
Yeah.
got every knowledge.
Yeah, go ahead and just make a perception check, because it's not even really. It's just like you've literally seen it before. Like.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eye out for it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. As you're kind of walking down this corridor, you're looking at the way the stonework is, and like the way that that all kind of lands. as you're going deeper, it does feel like it's getting older. Let me double
Is the
check.
dude is the bigger hat like with me?
No,
Oh.
you've been left to your own devices here. Yep. Okay. You get the impression this was built like just with how the stone is with the weathering and the workmanship of it all. This was probably built within like 300 years of that surface temple, of the Shadowguard temple that you ran into a Moonbright. They were around the same time. They don't quite look similar, but they're definitely just as old as one another.
Perhaps two factions of the faith.
And you work your way deeper down, and eventually you come into a long circular chamber.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. The door closes behind you.
Thanks.
Thanks. After a couple of moments, while you're kind of standing there, like looking around, and segueing off your perception check, looking or keeping an eye out here. You see the walls are stone. There's a sort of graded floor to some of it. Go ahead and make a knowledge nature check for me.
Ooh, I'm good at that.
Okay.
A 17.
You notice with your perception and your knowledge nature, because you see in the corners there's kind of moss and stuff in spots. You get the impression this room gets wet. And just as that kind of thought dawns on you, you hear a sort of rush, and in from the sides of the room starts to fill with water.
Huh. I'm fucked.
And we'll take a break. We want to be back in like 30 minutes or so here, and we'll pick it back up.
So am I rolling a new character at level 7 or 6?
One level less than the character you're currently using.
Excellent.
Yeah. We'll take a break here, try to regain our energy perhaps, and we'll come back to this fresh, okay?
All right.
All right.
Beep, beep.
We'll split it here. We'll see all you next time.
Bye.
See ya.